Head against a wall. Mortgage rates are again at all-time lows. That's right. Rates are at all-time lows. Put a bit of cash back in your pocket with a refi from True Mortgage. Get a 15-year fixed at just 1.75%, 2.140% APR. Even better, True Mortgage will cover your title, escrow, and appraisal fees. Qualification is fast and simple. Keep more of your hard-earned money and boost your savings. Lock in a lifetime of true value today with the lowest rates ever offered at 800-430-3334. That's 800-430-3334. 800-430-3334. Or visit TrueNow.com. Sign on the line. Inc. DBA True Mortgage is located at 100 Spectrum Center Drive, Suite 520, Irvine, California 92618. Equalizing lender. Terms and conditions apply. Based on a loan amount of $400,000. Monthly principal and interest payments. Primary residence only with a 50% loan to value. Not all applicants will qualify. NMLS number MLD1713.
Why would someone take a chance on purchasing a frameless shower door from a big box store or an online discounter of an obscure brand, and then try and find a licensed, qualified installer to put it in, when you can deal directly with a local, family-owned business that consults, measures, manufactures, and installs their own award-winning brand of shower doors? My Shower Door is a family-owned and operated business and has the highest ratings on Angie's List and Home Advisor. Want to see more? Go to myShowerDoor.com.
Keeping you in the right lane for your drive home. 92.5 WFSX Estero.
He's
Fox
going
News.
further in the fight against COVID's resurgence. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
As your president, I'm announcing tonight a new plan to require more Americans to be vaccinated.
Saying his patience is wearing thin on those who haven't gotten the shots, President Biden issued an order that private companies with at least 100 employees must require workers get the vaccine or be tested weekly.
Some of the biggest companies are already requiring this.
That's not all the president ordered.
Workers in health facilities that receive federal Medicare and Medicaid also have to be vaccinated, and executive branch federal employees and federal contractors must be vaccinated with no option to test out. Now, when it comes to masks, the president has instructed the TSA to double the fines for travelers who refuse to comply.
Fox's Griff Jenkins. In Kentucky last night, Republican state lawmakers voted in special session to get rid of a mandate for masks in schools. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who's in a court fight trying to block mask mandates, says the president has gone too far with the vaccine order.
I do not believe that people should lose their jobs over this issue, and we will fight that.
73% of Americans 12 and older have had at least one dose so far. There's a new report on the Taliban's brutality in Afghanistan. Fox's Simon Owens, you're live with this.
And Dave, the United Nations says the Taliban is being increasingly violent in its responses to peaceful marches in Afghanistan. Reporters have also described being beaten. The UN says one journalist who was detained was threatened with a beheading. Meanwhile, the UN Special Envoy for Afghanistan, Deborah Lyons, says the world must find a method
that allows money to flow to Afghanistan to prevent a total breakdown of the economy and social order.
This after billions of dollars in Afghan assets were frozen when the Taliban retook control. Dave?
Simon, all this the day after the first flight out of Afghanistan since evacuations ended for some Americans. America's listening to Fox News.
We're the station that gets it right. 92.5 WFSX Estero. Fox News. Right all along.
This update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. We are finally heading into the weekend. And as we head through today, look for a few showers throughout this morning. First, closer to the coast. That focus will be shifting more inland towards the afternoon, with scattered thunderstorms mainly focused along and east of the I-75 corridor. Temperatures today top off near 92 degrees. Things wind down as we head into your tonight for your Friday evening and overnight plans. Saturday, waking up to low near 76 degrees, and it will be a bit drier as we start the weekend with just some isolated storms in a high of 93. Sunday, rain chances ramp back up. Scattered storms return for Sunday afternoon. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Keeping it right here. We're 92.5 Fox News. And we've been right all along.
To honor and remember those who lost their lives in the terror attacks of 9/11, the Alamo Gun Range of Naples is proud to support 92.5 Fox News Radio's Field of Flags this week in Naples. And now, our national anthem.
True relief for back and neck pain.
Back pain, neck pain, we hear so much about it every day, but most people never understand what causes it. Very often, it is more than just sore muscles. Many times, it is caused by disc and nerve compression in the spine. This is very often not addressed. The only way to get pressure off the discs in the spine is to decompress the discs. Here at Johnson Spinal Care 596 Back, non-surgical spinal decompression is a specially designed, computerized table to provide gentle, precise pulling to draw pressure off the discs and release the nerves. This process draws blood back into the discs, allowing them to heal. Completely safe and comfortable for any age. No hanging upside down. Patients with stenosis sciatica, bulging discs, neuropathy, scoliosis all find great, long-lasting relief with decompression. Call my Medicare-friendly office today for a free telephone consultation. Johnson Spinal Care, 596 Back. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
Fever is the key symptom for both the flu and COVID. The Exergen temporal scanner is essential to detect fevers early and reliably. Learn more at Exergen.com.
You'd think an Army veteran with a military career including multiple combat deployments throughout the Middle East would be a great American. And you'd be right. But Joe Vanderbosch also happens to be a great dentist. An Army veteran of 8 years, Dr. Joe now makes his home in Southwest Florida, where his wife Sarah grew up.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joseph Vanderbosch, Freedom Dental on Metro Parkway in Fort Myers. In the Army, I received extra training in order to provide dental care in virtually any condition. That's why I can manage many dental treatments without the need to refer to a specialist. I served my country proudly for 8 years. Now I want to serve you in your dental needs. Special discounts for former and active military without dental insurance.
Dr. Vanderbosch provides emergency care and is now accepting new patients for cleaning, extractions, crowns, implants, and more. Find them online at freedomdentalfortmyers.com. That's freedomdentalfortmyers.com. Dr. Joseph Vanderbosch. Go to freedomdentalfortmyers.com.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line streaming live. DrewSteele.com, the website. Steele has 3 E's. You can go there to watch right now, and you can subscribe to the podcast. Thank you to everybody who continues to subscribe and, give us a couple of stars there. Maybe 5 stars on Apple Podcasts would be very nice. And listen, I go into today with all kinds of mixed feelings because Joe Biden didn't have to do this today. That is the one thing that I was screaming at the top of my lungs yesterday was Joe Biden did not have to do this today. I went into today, and I'm still going to go into today to some degree, but a lot different than we were preparing to do. And on a day where we have an opportunity, the day before, to take your phone calls. And I am encouraging you, please, to call this morning because I want to hear from you about all of the things that are going on, including what I'm about to tell you. 239-479-5592. So a little behind the scenes, we've been preparing for this day today, Friday, September 10th, knowing that we would not be on the air tomorrow, September 11th, the 20th anniversary since that horrific day, 9/11, and the opportunity to memorialize, to remember, to go back, to never forget, and it's not going to happen. We are not going to forget on this program. And, of course, those that have family members, there's a generation that doesn't know anything about 9/11 except in books, doesn't have a clue, and has to, listen to you and hear your stories. Maybe read some books about what happened on 9/11. When you consider that there have been generations before us who have been in the same situation where a group of kids under 20 years of age, and quite honestly older, not knowing anything about 9/11, a generation who would talk to their grandparents, not knowing anything about World War II, not knowing anything about World War I, not knowing anything about the Civil War, not knowing anything about all of these moments in history where we have an opportunity to speak to this on an anniversary and talk to people who were there and witnessed it, and how important it is to never forget these moments in history, especially one like this. And today we were prepared to do just that. Today was the preparation of going back and remembering 9/11 and taking today to do it. We had the 92.5 Fox News Field of Flags. We still do in Naples that we took the time to do on a plot of land at 333 8th Street South, where we have just about 3,000 flags in the ground right now to memorialize those who lost their lives on 9/11. That exists right now, that is there. We had bigger plans for today, some that hopefully I'll get a chance to tell you about in the future. But if you know anything about me and you know anything about this program, and you know when we want to make a point, when we want you to understand how important something is to me personally, and I'm just speaking for me, that I like to try to go big. And we had big plans for today. You know, just like we do with our 10,000 cards for the troops, and how you always come through as a community, and how we had an opportunity and blessed to be able to get on a plane and fly to Ramstein Air Base in Germany to be able to hand deliver those cards of yours, those Christmas cards to our troops. You know, that kind of big. We had plans. We had big plans for today. And it's just unbelievable how, unfortunately, where we are right now and the politics that are at play and what has transpired, that Joe Biden, and forgive me for saying this once again, but I can't say it enough. And yes, we're going to get into what Joe Biden said and the lies that have been out there from this administration and from Democrats, and how we're going to do something right now that appears to be unconstitutional. We're going to find out whether or not it's constitutional. There are plenty of people that are going to push back on this, plenty of companies that are going to push back on Joe Biden's mandates. There are plenty of people that are looking right now and saying, well, I'm not sure if I really want to comply necessarily. We're talking about businesses. The Daily Wire is one of them, Ben Shapiro, saying, listen, they've got over 100 employees and they're not planning on complying. They're going to fight this in court. And this isn't about whether or not you as a personal choice are making one choice to say that the vaccine is for me and vaccine efficacy and all of that. And we'll get to that this morning as well. That's not it. It's about the choice that you have and the freedoms. I know it's not about freedoms because Joe Biden says it's not. But Joe Biden didn't have to do this today. And I can't tell you how I went from anger, stomping down anger, to just sadness. Joe Biden didn't have to do this yesterday and bring this to the forefront today. Today was supposed to be an opportunity for all of us to come together. And quite honestly, even to come together as Republicans, Democrats, people who disagree politically, to come together and remember a day that is an important day in this history, the history of this country. And to be able to come together and remember 9/11. And for just a second, to be able to stop and take a breath. For just 1 second to stop and take a breath. And to come together and to remember that day. And Joe Biden was not going to have any of that. Ron Klain was not going to have any of that. Jen Psaki was not going to have any of that. Barack Obama was not going to have any of that. All the people that are pulling the strings behind the scenes were not going to have any part of that. And for one reason and one reason alone. Not because this couldn't have waited until Monday. No, this is an emergency. This is something that had to be done right away. You know, 250,000 Americans have died on Joe Biden's watch since he's taken office when it comes to COVID-19, according to the numbers. If it was that big an emergency, why didn't all of this take place on day one when he was in office? I mean, ask yourself that question. So you couldn't wait until after the weekend to do this. Yes, he could have, but he didn't. And forgive me if I sound bitter, again, because I had big plans, and I still do. We're not going to stop talking about September 11th today. We are going to remember September 11th, and I do want your phone calls this morning and remembering 9/11 through all of this, and I do certainly want your phone calls, 239-479-5592, and your thoughts on what Joe Biden has done. You want to know what a dictator sounds like? You want to know what totalitarianism sounds like? You got it. Here he is, Joe Biden, right in front of your face. There you go. You want to know all these ideas, this imaginary world that you leftists live in, where you kind of thought for 1 second, honestly thought, that Donald Trump, as president of the United States, was the dictator. That you honestly believed all the junk that was said with regards to your this is what a dictator is. It's, going back to the Third Reich and all the nonsense that was said. Now you know what it looks like. Sorry, it's just awful. And again, you did this yesterday because you wanted the attention on this today to take away from not only September 11th and remembering, knowing full well that there wasn't one single family that's I shouldn't say one single family, but many people who didn't want you to show up at anything that had to do with remembering 9/11. Especially considering the disaster that is Afghanistan and what you did. And that's what this was all about. I mean, goodness, are you telling me that this pivot had to happen yesterday? I mean, I'm just throwing this out there. I'm just pulling this out of a hat here. I don't really have a hat. Pulling it out of my... pulling it out of my jacket pocket. I mean, was Afghanistan so catastrophically idiotic, so catastrophically awful, pulling out the way he did? At the least, because he wanted to be seen as a hero on 9/11, to be able to pull out before then, to have to be out of Afghanistan so that he can move into tomorrow and say, look at what I did at the least, and at the worst, to have one of the biggest disasters in front of you. And just insisting that we are out going against everything and anything that was said about how disastrous a plan it would be, as if you walked away, knowing that full well, handing over Bagram Air Base to China, knowing full well where we are right now, trusting terrorists who are in the government that is being created by the Taliban because of Barack Obama and Bo Bergdahl, something that was noble, something that needed to happen. It was a sacred obligation. Not my words, but Barack Obama's words. A sacred obligation. Trading off Bo Bergdahl for terrorists that are now in the government in Afghanistan. And this idea that the reason why you did this is, and again, I'm just pulling this out of a hat, that the reason why you did this the day before a huge anniversary on a very solemn and important day to remember is because you wanted to take away from the disaster that was Afghanistan, because now we would all spend the day and the weekend today and right through the weekend focusing on something we should be focusing on, which is remembering 9/11, and then in turn focusing on the absolute criminal disaster that took place just a few weeks ago in Afghanistan, and how possibly this is an impeachable offense. Possibly we could be talking about that, but of course you can't do that with Republicans because, they don't have a spine. But there's nothing you can do, Drew. They don't have control. But even if they did, would they do this? Ask yourself if Mitch McConnell would do anything when it comes to impeaching this president, with plenty of reasons to do it. Whether or not they would even come together if they got the House and the Senate back again in 22. Whether or not that they would even take the time to bring this up and move this forward. The idea that he did this on a day when he didn't have to do it because politics makes it even more outrageous and more sickening. So we're going to talk about what the President of the United States said. We'll play the audio. Going after Governor Ron DeSantis, clearly the governor had a lot to say about that we're going to bring up. We're going to talk about 9/11. I want your memories of 9/11. We're going to bring some people onto the program to talk about that day. I'm not going to walk away from this program and not talk and discuss it because it still weighs heavy on people's hearts that day. And I'm going to play some audio for you that you will remember in the reporting of 9/11 and something you may not remember. And the unhinged left, not far and not too long after 9/11, 2001, showing full well who they are, letting you know exactly who they are, and some of the despicable, disgusting audio from not too long after that, which really gives you an example of why you shouldn't be surprised where we are today. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. Streaming live, drewsteele.com, the website, Steele has 3 E's if you want to watch, subscribe to the podcast. I really do want to hear from you this morning. It really is going to be about you, your thoughts on the President of the United States yesterday and what he said about now vaccines and mandates and businesses and jobs. And plus, I do want to hear from you as well with regard to September 11th, 2001 and your memories, because, again, it is important that we put this out there for a generation that has no clue what happened that day because they weren't there. It wasn't that long ago, but it was. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along. Here's traffic. Let's find out what's going on with Therese O'Shea.
Good morning. Heading out through I-75 and Daniels Parkway, we have a crash reported with no injuries, no roadblock. Just watch out for some activity there. Also, a hit-and-run crash on Pebble Beach Road in San Carlos Park. So look for a little bit of activity and some slight slowdowns. There's some flashing lights in that area of the San Carlos Golf Club. Looking clear along most of 75, aside from that Daniels crash. 41 running up to speed. No problems out across Collier or Charlotte counties to start your day. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. Look for a few showers possible closer to the coast to kick off the day. Scattered thunderstorms for this afternoon, especially focused east of the I-75 corridor, with temperatures reaching to near 92 degrees. As we head into your Saturday, a low near 76, waking up. Isolated storms for tomorrow as we are back with a drier forecast with a high near 93. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
92.5 Fox News. Right.
This Fox Business Report is presented by Island Air. High-quality AC repair and installation. Online at islandairfl.com. Online at islandairefl.com.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Two powerful business groups, the National Association of Manufacturers and the National Retail Federation, are wary of President Biden's plan to require large companies to mandate vaccinations and are not endorsing it for now. Microsoft and its subsidiary LinkedIn decide to abandon their plans for U.S. employees to return to the office next month as the Delta variant grips the country, a return indefinitely postponed. The battle for employees is getting so competitive that Amazon's offering to pay college tuition for more than 750,000 U.S. employees as a way to lure and retain staff. And stocks fell over concerns COVID will dampen consumer confidence and spending. The Dow lost 151 points. I'm Carmen Roberts. That's your Fox Business Report. Invested in you.
Getting older has its advantages. Early bird dinners, senior discounts, day drinking. If you're one of the millions turning 65 soon, it might be time to take a look at your insurance options. Original Medicare, Medicare Advantage, so much to keep in mind. At Millennium Physician Group, half our patients are 65 plus. No matter what insurance benefits you choose, make sure your Millennium primary care doctor is part of your plan and your connection to a healthier life. Millennium Physician Group. Connect today. 844-CALL-MPG. MillenniumPhysician.com.
Are you one of the millions of homeowners who haven't refinanced yet? If so, I'm here to tell you it's not too late. Hi, I'm Wesley Hogan with Westland Financial. Although the lowest rates may be in our rearview mirror, as the economy recovers from the biggest economic shock of our lifetime, rates still remain near historic lows. In fact, with the dramatic increase in home values, this may be the perfect time to put that new home equity to work. Take advantage of our cash out refi program and pay off high-rate credit cards, car loans, or other high-interest rate debt. Or finally make those home improvements you put on hold for so long. Best of all, we can do this with no closing costs. That's right, whether it's a conventional, FHA, or VA loan, we'll pay for your title, settlement, lender, and recording fees. So call Westland at 888-455-3669. That's 888-455-3669. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind. 888-455-3669.
NMLS number 3304. Not all loans apply. Equal housing lender.
Sales desk, this is Marty.
Hey, Marty, it's time to get paid.
Paid for what?
Paid for your trade.
Okay.
Victory Lane Chevrolet is paying over book value for trades, and Florida drivers are cashing in.
They're paying over book value for trades. I get it, okay.
Correctamundo, Marty. Used car values are worth more than ever. It really is the best time to trade.
Why would I pay over book value? Tell me that.
Well, why do you overcharge customers for new Chevys?
I don't overcharge.
Okay. Enjoy your new Silverado, ma'am. Get paid for your trade at Victory Lane Chevrolet and get over book value for your trade. Plus, during truck month, receive a $1,000 accessory cash allowance with your new truck. Victory Lane Chevrolet on the corner of Fowler and Winkler. Find new roads. Online, victorylanechevrolet.com.
All rebates to dealer offers do not combine. $1,000 cash accessory is for GM parts only. Expires 9/30/21.
Liberals suck. That's why we have Clay and Buck. Clay Travis and Buck Sexton. Today, noon to 3 on 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
239-479-5592, the talk and text line, drewsteele.com, the website. Steele has 3 E's if you want to watch and subscribe to the podcast. We appreciate it. At drewsteele.com, you can go to any of your favorite podcast locations. Hey, good to know that after Joe Biden had to say what he had to say yesterday, and we're going to get to some of the audio of exactly that, and, businesses and mandates and schools and going after governors, and, it's not about your freedom and everything else. Good to know that he's continued a tradition of just walking away.
We have the tools. Now we just have to finish the job with truth, with science, with confidence.
So where's the truth, science, and confidence part coming in? And then, of course, the whisper, right?
And may God protect our troops. Get vaccinated.
And he walks off. Yeah, is it constitutional? Yeah, we're going to talk about this more coming up.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
Hey, we've got my friend Dave Meister on the phone, of course, with the Floor Meisters, the family-owned Floor Meisters in Naples. And Dave, listen, I know you got a lot of things going on. You're selling a lot of cord tech. That's great, but you got this 8,000 square foot showroom with a selection of carpet that is absolutely unbelievable as well. And the prices right now are pretty amazing. So I hear you got this whole thing going on with Dreamweaver carpet starting at, wait a minute, let me just get this right, at just $1.99 a square foot?
Yes, installed carpet pad and labor, $1.99.
And there's the phones ringing already. Look at that. They're getting excited,
Oh, yeah.
Dave. Tell me more about what we've got here.
So we've got a big selection, and this is quite a carpet.
Listen, if you haven't been to the Floor Meisters, you really owe it to yourself to visit their store, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco. Whether it's tile, laminate, hardwood, or, of course, carpet, they've got it all. So give them a call today, 239-596-4964, or on the web at floormeisters.com.
I'm Mark Anajar from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. Unfortunately, many drivers in Florida do not carry liability insurance or have limits of insurance that are insufficient to cover your injuries. Uninsured motorist is valuable coverage that you can purchase to protect you in those instances. Call the law offices of Anajar & Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Fort Myers, Naples.
Great news, Southwest Florida. Matt and Justin here with Island Air.
Over the past year and a half, we know that many people have sacrificed their vacations.
We know that replacing your air conditioning system is a stressful purchase. Usually it's something that you didn't plan on, very inconvenient, always seems to happen at the worst time, and we were trying to find a way to ease that burden.
Decisions. Do I buy an air conditioner? Do I take a vacation? For a limited time, Island Air is offering you both in one package.
Call Island Air and get that outdated system replaced, and included with your purchase, you will get a vacation voucher of your choosing.
It's your choice with a qualified purchase of a cruise or condo resort voucher. You can choose 4,500 different resort options, 106 countries around the world.
A vacation can be yours with the purchase of a new air conditioning system. Call us today to find out more details on how to claim your voucher for a limited time. Call 239-466-8668.
Call 466-8668 for more details.
License number CAC 057544.
This is Renee.
Happy to be here.
She's not some influencer. She's more of a groundbreaker, turning her 4-acre lot into a little slice of heaven behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. Renee runs with us because the most important job is the next one.
That's all I got.
Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 1 Series tractor for just $99 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Some Republican governors say they'll fight President Biden's coronavirus vaccine mandate for businesses with more than 100 employees. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem tells Fox.
In South Dakota, we're going to be free, and we're going to make sure that we don't overstep our authority. So we will take action. My legal team is already working, and we will defend and protect our people from this unlawful mandate.
President Biden says pandemic politics are making people sick.
We cannot allow these actions to stand in the way of protecting the large majority of Americans who have done their part and want to get back to life as normal.
Businesses not complying would face fines up to $14,000 per offense. The White House says the president spoke with China's President Xi Jinping for 90 minutes about economic issues, climate change, and the coronavirus pandemic. It's their first conversation in 7 months, just the second since President Biden took office. America's listening to Fox News.
Wink News, traffic.
Good morning. Heading out through I-75 and Daniels Parkway, we have a crash reported with no injuries, no roadblock. Just watch out for some activity there. Also, a hit-and-run crash on Pebble Beach Road in San Carlos Park. So look for a little bit of activity and some slight slowdowns or some flashing lights in that area of the San Carlos Golf Club. Looking clear along most of 75 aside from that Daniels crash. 41 running up to speed. No problems out across Collier or Charlotte counties to start your day. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. We are finally heading into the weekend. And as we head through today, look for a few showers throughout this morning. First, closer to the coast. That focus will be shifting more inland towards the afternoon, with scattered thunderstorms mainly focused along and east of the I-75 corridor. Temperatures today top off near 92 degrees. Things wind down as we head into your tonight for your Friday evening and overnight plans. Saturday, waking up to low near 76 degrees, and it will be a bit drier as we start the weekend with just some isolated storms in a high of 93. Sunday, rain chances ramp back up. Scattered storms return for Sunday afternoon. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Need some inspiration? Don't look left. Look right. Here. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Searching everywhere for great prices on appliances? No, you're not, because you have better things to do. Besides, Good Deals has it for less, and they have plenty of items in stock despite shortages everywhere else. Remember, Good Deals guarantees the lowest price on everything they sell. Find a lower price anywhere, and Jay will beat it, guaranteed. Visit one of the showrooms in Fort Myers, Naples, and Cape Coral, or shop online at gooddealsappliances.com.
Good Deals Appliances. Have we got a deal for you?
Attention! This is a closeout event you cannot miss. Thursday through Sunday, it's the certified closeout at Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral. Shop the largest certified pre-owned vehicle selection in the entire country with closeout pricing, thousands less than MSRP. Certified Rogues, Sentras, and Altimas from only $16,988. Plus, you get a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Certified vehicles are just like new from how they look, feel, and drive. You won't be able to tell the difference, but you'll pay thousands less. With the country's biggest selection starting at $16,988. Rogues, Sentras, Altimas, all here. Plus, get a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. This closeout event ends Sunday. Rush to Florida's #1 Nissan dealer, Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral. Your used car megastore online at flnissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much.
See dealer for details.
They were fathers and mothers, sons and daughters, sisters and brothers. This is Drew Steele from 92.5 Fox News. 20 years ago, on 9/11, 2,977 perished. In their honor, in their memory, 92.5 Fox News will place one flag for each of their souls to create a field of flags in downtown Naples. All this week on 92.5 Fox News.
License number CCC 1333045.
Did your roof weather the storm? Don't let leaks linger. Count on Crown Residential Services for all your roofing needs. Water damage can quickly become a big problem, but the Crown team is just a click away at crownroofing.com. Repairs, replacement, free estimates, and the Crown Guard maintenance program, so you can be prepared and stay prepared. Count on Crown for rapid, affordable, quality roofing solutions. Go to crownroofing.com. That's crownroofing.com.
Your home is the one place where everything should be perfect, including your air. AC by Florida Comfort Systems helps you achieve the perfect air you deserve with reliable, groundbreaking, award-winning Lennox products. Call AC by Florida Comfort Systems to hear more about how we can help you feel healthier and happier in your home. It doesn't get any more perfect than that. Call us today or visit us online at acbyfcs.com. License number CAC 057065.
Rock Solid wants you to be our customer at Rock Solid Countertops and More. $9.99 gets it done. For a limited time only, get a full set of kitchen countertops from $9.99 installed. Rock Solid guarantees to beat any competitor's prices, including installation. So come see Hugo and his team in Naples. And now serving Port Charlotte at 4135 Tamiami Trail. Visit rocksolidnaples.com. Rock Solid, where $9.99 gets it done.
After Drew, it's Glenn Beck 9 till noon. You've come to the right place. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
239-479-5592, the talk and text line streaming live, drewsteele.com, the website, Steele has 3 E's. If you would like to watch the program, subscribe to the podcast, you can go and just click the link. It's right there at the website, drewsteele.com, or you can just type in Drew Steele at any of your favorite podcast locations to listen at your convenience. All right, we're going to get into a lot of what the president said yesterday and your thoughts on this. Again, I would love to hear from you this morning and your memories of 9/11 as we get into the 20-year anniversary of that day. And I am not going to forget about it. I'm not going to just now switch gears, even though we had planned quite a show today talking about and remembering 9/11, because we just thought for a minute we can all breathe, take a breath, and actually remember the day. And instead, Joe Biden comes along and ruins all of that. And I would say purposely, knowing full well what Afghanistan has meant in the past couple of weeks, and everybody sees it. No more focus on that. We got to switch gears. And he could have waited until Monday. And again, I'm making the case that if it's in so dire and desperate that this had to be done, 250,000 people have died under the watch of Joe Biden since he has taken office with regards to COVID. Then he could have done this on the very first day in office. He could have done it in the first month, 2 months, 3 months. But no, he has to wait till today. Well, yesterday, technically. But he has to wait until September 9th to do it. Does anybody see the problem with that? That didn't go unnoticed. But a lot of the people that I talk to, it's clear that this is all political and what he said. And may I remind you how political this is? Because look, if you're talking to
mandatory, I wouldn't demand to be mandatory.
There will be no nationwide mandate. I was referring to mandates by private institutions and portions of the federal government. There will be no federal mandate.
One that's not the role of the federal government.
I don't think you'll ever see a mandating of vaccine, particularly for the general public. But you would never mandate. At least I do not think you would. I'd be pretty surprised if you mandated it for any element of the general public.
Yeah, so there you go. Lies, just lies, flat out lies. They lied to you. Who are you supposed to trust right now? You're going to trust Joe Biden? You're going to trust this administration? You're going to trust the media? Really? These are the people that you're going to trust? You're going to trust Dr. Fauci? Which we're told, a couple of things that I heard about behind the scenes, got some calls yesterday with some people that know a lot more and are a lot smarter than I am. And here's what I heard yesterday. I heard, number one, that you've got Ron Klain and you've got and Dr. Fauci making all of these decisions, the vice president nowhere to be seen. Oh, actually, she was somewhere to be seen talking about the awful pro-life law that has now been in effect in Texas. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the anti-death of babies law is what it is. And what she said, which is kind of ironic, the irony, it just stinks. And we're going to talk about that and what she said yesterday. But again, here we have all the lies in the past that we were told that this wasn't going to happen. And now we come to find out that, no. Here you have Ron Klain and Dr. Fauci making all of these decisions with the president of the United States. Today is the day. You don't think this is political? It stinks. It smells of politics, knowing full well that it didn't have to be today. It could have been Monday. We could have waited until after the 20th anniversary of 9/11. We could have waited, but no, we can't because politics. And then the other thing I heard yesterday was that this was going to be an OSHA thing. Get ready. This is going to be, businesses are going to be fined if they don't follow what the president has to say, because that's where, through the Department of Labor, that he may possibly have some way to do this. And again, this is how Democrats work. Remember how they work. Remember this part of it. This president, Joe Biden, could care less about the Constitution, clearly, after the eviction moratorium decision that he made against the Supreme Court. You can't do this. Oh, I'm going to do it anyway. Right? The continuation of the eviction moratorium. Clearly not constitutional, but doesn't make a difference because Democrats clearly at this point, and if you hate that I keep saying Democrats instead of liberals, then check your party. Check what you're doing. Because the head, supposedly, of your party, which really isn't the head of the party, because if we're going to be honest about Joe Biden and what he knows and what's in his head, there's some questions about that. That this is what your party is doing. This is what the head of your party is doing when it comes to things that are not constitutional. And then you look at the situation, and people are just going to have to figure out whether or not they're going to comply. Businesses, will they comply? Some are already talking about how they're not going to. Governors are already talking about how, no, we're not on board with all of this. And what did the president say yesterday? So, yes, like I was saying, forgive me. Somebody had said to me, watch out. It's going to be an OSHA violation. If you don't follow along, that's how they're going to be able to do this. And here's what he said. Just some of the things that he said yesterday.
This is not about freedom or personal choice. It's about protecting yourself and those around you.
It's okay. So right away, we're just setting that right up. Don't start talking to us about the freedom. That's a William Wallace. That's a Mel Gibson type. You don't even know what William Wallace, Mel Gibson. Do you even know the reference that I'm making right now, Jake the millennial? Any idea?
I know Mel Gibson.
Okay, good. Well, he knows Mel Gibson from.
I think he yelled one time. He got into yeah.
Okay, he doesn't know Mel Gibson. All right. So anyway, I need you. 239-479-5592. Please call if you're as frustrated as I am today. Please call. So it's not about forget your freedoms. Boy, liberals say that a lot, don't they? I guess when you don't really follow a constitution, you're not really worried about freedoms or anything like that, right? It's
people you work with, the people you care about, the people you love. My job as president is to protect all Americans.
Really? Protecting all Americans? I'm just asking because there were 13 Americans and then some that might have a question about that. Their families might have a serious question about how far you're willing to go to protect them in places like Afghanistan. But we're not allowed to talk about that today because we have to move on from that, right?
So tonight, I'm announcing that the Department of Labor is developing an emergency rule to require all employers with 100 or more employees that together employ over 80 million workers to ensure their workforces are fully vaccinated.
All right, so that's part of what he said yesterday. And again, The question as to whether or not this is something that is constitutional was asked, whether or not governors are going to follow along with vaccine mandates that have been given by the president, and the power of the states and the enumeration of powers, and what if you're just trying to figure out what a dictator sounds like, it's pretty interesting the things that he's been saying, right?
Let me be blunt.
Yeah, be blunt.
My plan also takes on elected officials in states that are undermining you and these life-saving actions. Right now, local school officials are trying to keep children safe in a pandemic while their governor picks a fight with them and even threatens their salaries or their jobs. Talk about bullying in schools.
Ooh.
If they'll not help, if these governors won't help us beat the pandemic, I'll use my power as president to get them out of the way.
To get them out of the way. What? Who does he think he is? What does he think about what his powers are and are not? Again, if you don't follow the Constitution, you don't read the Constitution, you don't care about the Constitution, then the enumeration of powers do not mean a whole lot. What does the governor have to say about that? He talked about it yesterday.
And at the end of the day, my philosophy is, as governor, my job is to protect your individual freedom. My job is not to protect corporate freedom. That is not what I'm here for. I mean, we have a good business climate, we have everything, but this idea that businesses can just do whatever they want and invade your privacy and doing all that, no, I'm not signing up for that. I'm signing up for protecting your freedom and making sure we have a society in Florida where people can make the best decisions for themselves and for their families. And that's what we're doing by protecting against these mandates and making sure that that's done based on what people believe is best for them and their families, but not something that's imposed either by government or, in some respects, in some instances, by very, very powerful private entities.
Yeah, we're going to get to more of what the governor had to say and your response, certainly, to Joe Biden yesterday. Again, we are going to talk about 9/11. We are going to remember 9/11. I'm not going to leave this show today and not talk about it, knowing full well that tomorrow is the 20th anniversary. So we will be talking about that. But I want to hear your thoughts on Joe Biden this morning. Rich is in South Carolina, wanted to weigh in on his comments. Go ahead, Rich.
Morning, Drew, and I do share your frustration. Former Marine. I knew where I was in 1976 when we were celebrating our bicentennial.
Me too.
I knew exactly where I was during 9/11. And Joe Biden, I'm not surprised. And that's a sad thing that I have to say, that I'm not surprised at all by what's happening with this organization. This is part and parcel of who he is. This is a man, and these are people in that organization, and that's what I'm calling them, that are very comfortable. They're more comfortable dealing with the Taliban and with China because they understand each other. These people are birds of the same feather. Unfortunately, American citizens are still waiting for Superman to show up to resolve this problem. You have a tenth of the Republican Party that still has the kind of freedom-loving courage to do the right thing. The rest of them are part of the political process in its selfish gain. If you're waiting for Superman to show up, and you're on this, listening to this show, you are Superman. The people of this country have got to get to the place where they say, we're stop waiting for somebody to resolve this problem, and we have to resolve it.
Yeah. Well, no, I appreciate your thoughts right there, Rich. Thank you so much for the call. Steve's in Michigan, wanted to comment on this as well. Morning, Steve.
Morning, Drew. Hey, you can't make a mandate and then carve out the postal union. Right there, the thing's going to fall apart.
Again, by the way, for people that don't know, and there's some question as to whether or not they've changed on that carve out. For those that don't know, one of the big discussions yesterday was the fact that it looks like the Postal Service was not going to have to do this. They were going to be exempt, but the Washington Post reported earlier this morning that the White House is claiming that the Postal Service workers are part of the federal vaccine mandate under OSHA jurisdiction, though technically not under the executive order. So there's kind of questions as to how this is going to play out. People recognize that. So early on, people were saying, well, hold on a second. What about the Postal Service? It looked like they were exempt from this. But the Washington Post is saying something different. But again, brings up the question, Steve, who the heck can you trust right now? This administration, the media, you can't trust anybody. You're asking for our trust, and you've never given us any.
Exactly. And if this is such an emergency that we've got to mandate a vaccine, but yet everyone, including Fauci, is silent on what's happening at the southern border with people coming across, not being quarantined, not being tested,
great point,
being shipped to various places all around the country. Like I said, even if the administration was the ones that were doing all this, where's Fauci, stepping up and saying, hey, you really need to do something down there. This is serious. No, they know it's not. This is all control. This is all BS.
Yeah, and Steve, to your very good point there, and thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Very astute. One of the ways that I talked to people yesterday that are a lot smarter than I am when it comes to jurisprudence is that the way a lawsuit could play out right now would be the same way that a lawsuit, let me put it this way. Let me preface it by saying this. OSHA has been involved in, and there have been cases in the past that have to do with vaccinations, and there are people that are going to bring those cases up as if those are the ones to look at. And they do have to do with vaccines and people not wanting to get vaccinated and going all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court deciding against the people who did not want to vaccinate. But the case now that they're talking about is just what Steve brought up, and it's pretty basic. The case not too long ago of what was it? I believe it was the church was it in California, who they sued because they wanted to be able to have service, in-person service during the pandemic because there were businesses that were able to be open. So the claim was that why is it that certain businesses can be open even though there were restrictions on how many people could be in the building and masking and the like, but they were allowed to be open for business to a degree, but a church couldn't have a service, an in-person service, like somehow, and I believe it was either New York or California, it may have been New York. Well, no, you're not allowed to have a service, but these businesses were allowed to be open. That was part of the impetus as to why that case won in court and why they were able to have people in-person services to take place. This could be the same argument that people, like I said, smarter than I am, saying that that's how you would present the case. You're not even mandating vaccinations for Afghan refugees coming to this country. You have not been able to mandate vaccinations for illegals who are in this country right now, people who are coming into the country. You're not doing anything like that. And so how can you make the American people do this or businesses do this when you're not even doing that along the border or even refugees coming into the country? That could be part of the argument that could win the day against these mandates for businesses. Now, whether or not that's the case and whether or not I said that properly, I'm not really sure. But somebody, like I said, smarter than me will answer that. I think that was very strange. I think there was a bug that just flew on my neck. Did you see that? Forgive me. I don't know. That was really weird. It was like there's a bug on my neck. I don't know what that is. It's an ant. It's a bug. Maybe just my skin feels all creepy right now. Maybe that's it. Yeah, and there have been some other outrageous things that Joe Biden has said. Look, we're going to get into more of what he said yesterday. We're going to get more into some of the lies that the media, the left have had with regard to this issue. How about Joe Biden, who claims that Trump's responsible for every single person who's died from COVID-19, but yet 250 Americans are dead under his leadership? Why did you not do this on day one? Why did you wait till the 9th, the day before, a big anniversary that we needed to remember, and we will remember, 9/11, unless if it's politics because you're trying to get it out of the headlines because, Afghanistan's kind of be horrible if that was the case. 239-479-5592. When we come back, yes, we are going to talk a little bit about remembering 9/11. It is important that we do with an author of a very important book. It's called Tower Stories. And it is the stories of, and it's kind of is a walking, talking history of that day. It's a fascinating, just incredible book. We're going to talk about that coming up. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
If you think vaccines alone will protect you from COVID-19, think again. More breakthrough cases of COVID variants show that vaccinated people are still vulnerable to the deadly disease. To be safe, monitor regularly for fever, as it's the leading sign of COVID-19. Use Exergen, the only thermometer scientifically proven to detect fever, and beware of non-contact devices that miss 5 out of 6 fevers. Remember, vaccines are not enough, so protect yourself and your family with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Learn more at Exergen.com.
He raids your fridge. You're out of Barada. Borrows your car without asking. Scratches? What scratches? He's your brother-in-law. I'll pay you back. He takes what's yours, and there's nothing you can do. But when identity thieves want to take what's yours, you can do something. LifeLock by Norton monitors your info and alerts you to potential threats. If you become a victim, they can help fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com using promo code NEWS.
Lusk, Drasites, and Talisano believes winning cases is no accident. Your case is important. Pick a firm with resources to actually prosecute your case. If your case is accepted, you're guaranteed to not pay a single penny in fees or costs unless you get a favorable settlement or verdict. Lusk, Drasites, and Talisano has over 35 years of experience handling personal injury cases in Florida. Visit LDTlaw.com for a free consultation today. Winning is no accident. Lusk, Drasites, and Talisano. LDTlaw.com.
They were fathers and mothers, sons and daughters, sisters and brothers. This is Trey Radel from 92.5 Fox News. 20 years ago, on 9/11, 2,977 perished. In their honor, in their memory, 92.5 Fox News will place one flag for each of their souls to create a field of flags in downtown Naples. All this week on 92.5 Fox News.
Whatever you're doing this weekend, stop your plans and enjoy 60% off on a large collection of diamonds, rings, bracelets, and necklaces.
Hi, Stuart Duncan here. You're invited this weekend to our 60% off sale. Come see us. Savings like no other.
Don't miss the savings at Duncan's Diamonds 60% off event.
Enormous selection. Magnificent diamonds.
This Friday and Saturday only. It's happening at Duncan's Diamonds.
An avalanche of glittering diamonds, engagement rings, wedding bands.
If it's in the showcase, it's a whopping 60% off. Now is the time to save at Duncan's Diamonds.
I want you to find the diamonds and jewelry you will love today and save 60%. And we will not be undersold by anyone, anytime, anywhere, and you can count on it.
Duncan's Diamonds. It's worth the drive for the best prices on diamonds and jewelry.
This weekend only, 60% off event.
Naples at Mercado. See store for details.
Getting older has its advantages. Early bird dinners, senior discounts, day drinking. If you're one of the millions turning 65 soon, it might be time to take a look at your insurance options. Original Medicare, Medicare Advantage, so much to keep in mind. At Millennium Physician Group, half our patients are 65 plus. No matter what insurance benefits you choose, make sure your Millennium primary care doctor is part of your plan and your connection to a healthier life. Millennium Physician Group. Connect today. 844-CALL-MPG. MillenniumPhysician.com.
Sales desk, this is Marty.
Hey, Marty, it's time to get paid.
Paid for what?
Paid for your trade.
Okay.
Victory Lane Chevrolet is paying over book value for trades, and Florida drivers are cashing in.
They're paying over book value for trades. I get it, okay.
Correctamundo, Marty. Used car values are worth more than ever. It really is the best time to trade.
Why would I pay over book value? Tell me that.
Well, why do you overcharge customers for new Chevys?
I don't overcharge.
Okay. Enjoy your new Silverado, ma'am. Get paid for your trade at Victory Lane Chevrolet and get over book value for your trade. Plus, during Truck Month, receive a $1,000 accessory cash allowance with your new truck. Victory Lane Chevrolet on the corner of Fowler and Winkler. Find new roads. Online, victorylanechevrolet.com.
All rebates to dealer offers do not combine. $1,000 cash accessories for GM parts only. Expires 9/30/21.
Did you know that King Roofing has expert dedicated repair crews to troubleshoot roof problems? They can fix everything from tree damage to broken tiles and, of course, roof leaks. Do you have a leak or water stains or tile damage? Call King Roofing, a roofing company with the right team to repair it. King Roofing, experienced in roof repair for over 40 years.
License number CCC 057279.
Every castle deserves a king.
Replace your AC today, go on a cruise tomorrow. Island Air wants to send you to the island. Matt here from Island Air of Southwest Florida with some great news.
Decisions. Do I buy an air conditioner? Do I take a vacation? For a limited time, Island Air is offering you both in one package.
Call us today to find out more details on how to claim your voucher. Call 239-466-8668.
Call 466-8668 for more
Trying
details.
to get more Americans to get the shots. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
This is not about freedom or personal choice.
President Biden issuing more mandates in the fight against COVID's resurgence with 4,000 deaths the past 2 days. Fox's Rachel Sutherland has the details live.
Dave, as many as 100 million Americans could be affected by President Biden's sweeping new order through OSHA, requiring businesses with more than 100 employees to ensure their workers are fully vaccinated or face stiff fines.
Many of us are frustrated with the nearly 80 million Americans who are still not vaccinated, even though the vaccine is safe, effective, and free.
Those who do not get the shot can opt for weekly testing. The president also announced all federal workers and contractors must get vaccinated. The Biden administration will also give financial support to school districts that are defying states banning masks in classrooms. Dave?
Rachel, many Republicans are critical of the president who, before taking office in December, had said he wouldn't require vaccinations.
No, I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand to be mandatory.
Legal challenges may loom. Congresswoman Claudia Tenney tells Fox.
I think people have the right to make their own decision.
And Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves also thinks he went too far.
We live in America, and you would expect words like that from the president, maybe of communist China.
The U.S. Attorney General is messing with Texas. Merrick Garland and the Justice Department suing to block the state's new law banning most abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy.
The act is clearly unconstitutional under long-standing Supreme Court precedent.
Now, the court refused to block this law as appeals continue. A scare last night in Ohio. The Wright-Patterson Air Force Base went into lockdown, fearing an active shooter after 2 people reported hearing what they thought was a gunshot.
I'm happy to report that no threat has been identified.
Colonel Patrick Miller, the base no longer on lockdown. America's listening to Fox News.
From early morning to late at night, the station that gets it right is 92.5 WFSX Estero. Fox News. Right all along.
This update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Wink News, traffic.
Good morning. Heading out right now through North Naples, we have a crash at Learning Lane and Camden Lake Circle just off of Livingston Road, causing some slight delays getting in and out of North Naples Middle School and that Camden Lakes community. So just watch for some activity and be extra cautious out there. Daniels Parkway westbound is backed up for a good couple of miles coming from Gateway toward Fort Myers through I-75 and Treeline Avenue because of a crash that's now moved off to the side of the road. Again, that's westbound heading right through that 75 overpass, but no roadblock any longer out there. Busy morning drive heading up and down 75 around Colonial Boulevard toward Palm Beach Boulevard. No problems crossing the bridges just yet on the Cape Coral midpoint. Caloosahatchee and Edison bridges all taking about 2 to 3 minutes in each direction. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. We are finally heading into the weekend. And as we head through today, look for a few showers throughout this morning. First, closer to the coast. That focus will be shifting more inland towards the afternoon, with scattered thunderstorms mainly focused along and east of the I-75 corridor. Temperatures today top off near 92 degrees. Things wind down as we head into tonight for your Friday evening and overnight plans. Saturday, waking up to low near 76 degrees. And it will be a bit drier as we start the weekend with just some isolated storms in a high of 93. Sunday, rain chance ramp back up. Scattered storms return for Sunday afternoon. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Got friends and family living far away? Tell them to stream the best station yet at rightallalong.net, the online home of 92.5 Fox News.
To honor and remember those who lost their lives in the terror attacks of 9/11, Vincent Napoleon, founding member of Compass Naples, is proud to support 92.5.
Reporting that we're still getting a lot of calls from homeowners who were told they needed a new re-roof after Irma. Most of these folks had a few broken tiles that are obsolete. Our company has 2 warehouses filled with the older obsolete tiles that have never been used. If you think that you may not need a new re-roof, but only need to replace some obsolete tile, please call me for our free tile roof inspection. We may be able to repair and seal your roof to make it look new and beautiful, a lot cheaper than replacing the entire roof. If you call me for our free inspection, we'll place you on our proactive list, and in the event of another hurricane, you won't have to go searching for a contractor because we will automatically call you to see if you need assistance. Let me show you how we can clean and seal and protect your roof, pavers, and pool decks. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Carrie, and Cody, call us at 945-2700. That's 945-2700, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7, and you can call us right now for a free tile roof inspection. License number CCC 1326213.
Dr. Svetlana Kogan here, a board-certified internal medicine concierge physician on 5th Avenue South in Naples. Many of you wonder what holistic practice is. Well, good health is like a puzzle. It depends on how you perceive yourself, your environment, what you eat, your relationships, and lifestyle. It takes time and skill for the doctor to put these pieces of the puzzle together for you and come up with solutions customized to your specific needs. Holistic doctors believe that less medication is better and use preventive approach to keep you out of harm's way. This is also a concierge practice. Every patient gets my email and cell phone for emergencies and can be seen the same day if necessary. You are seen by me personally, and we take all the time that you need. You can visit my website, customlongevity.com. That's customlongevity.com to learn about how I, Dr. Svetlana Kogan, can help you feel healthy and balanced again.
Stuffy mornings and sleepless nights. The air in your home might be to blame. AC by Florida Comfort Systems makes your indoor air perfect with reliable Lennox products. AC by Florida Comfort Systems. Visit us online at acbyfcs.com. License number CAC 057065.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Hey, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592, the talk and text line streaming live. DrewSteele.com, the website. Steele has 3 E's. We appreciate you watching the program. We appreciate you subscribing to the podcast. Go to Drew Steele at any of your favorite podcast locations. 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. That's nice. Thank you for that. And if you go to drewsteele.com, there's a link there. Coming up, Damon DeMarco is going to join us. He's the author of Tower Stories, an oral history of 9/11. We are not going to forget about 9/11. We have the 92.5 Fox News Field of Flags that we have set up in Naples, 333 8th Street South, a plot of land that's there in downtown Naples where you can see these just about 3,000 flags to memorialize 9/11. We're not going to forget about it today, even though Joe Biden picked quite the day to do what he did yesterday, to become a dictator, as we all knew that the Marxist socialist Democrats were going to be. Questions about the timing of this, and certainly we're going to get into the audio of it as well. I believe in just a little bit, Congressman Byron Donalds is going to call in as well. Be looking for that, Jake. He's going to be calling in to comment on this coming up in just a bit, too. And we're just waiting for Damon DeMarco to give us a call. So we're looking forward to having that conversation on the way. And again, you know, the timing of this, yes, we're going to play the audio. Yes, it's frustrating, the constitutionality of all of the things that he's doing, the problems that many people have if you go back to the claim that none of this was going to happen, the lies that have been out there about we would never mandate this. We're not going to do it. We're not going to have a vaccine mandate until he does. So we're going to get to that in just a bit. But first, I think it's important that we do not forget. Many of you, I'm hoping, will call in this morning with your thoughts and your memories of 9/11. And here he is right now. This is Damon DeMarco joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. He's the author of a fantastic book, one that you say it needed to be done, and we're so glad to see that it has been done. Tower Stories, an oral history of 9/11. Talk about going through the stories and through the timeline and the date and remembering it's so important. And I want to talk about that right now as he joins us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. It's Drew Steele. How are you, sir?
Well, good morning. How are you?
I appreciate you joining us today. You know, the first question right out of the gate I would ask, certainly as we look 20 years ago, as we get to this weekend, thinking about and remembering 9/11, I might ask where you were that day in your memory specifically.
I was here in Manhattan. I was standing in front of the TV, watching everything transpire with a cup of coffee in my hands and my eyes wide and not believing anything that I saw.
Were you far from Ground Zero? Where were you exactly?
I would reckon my apartment at the time was on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, okay. So I would reckon that I was about 4 miles away.
Yeah, and you know the importance. You know, talk about that too. As you're there in the city, and you know, I could spend a whole show, even with my dad, who was driving in at the time, who worked in Lower Manhattan in the Garment District, actually, and making his way into the city, Lower Manhattan from New Jersey, who was there and basically parked, looking right at the event as it was taking place, as it was happening, and I had an opportunity to actually call him. I was one of the few people in my town who had a landline, of all things, and was able to get through. And you could spend a whole day just talking about even the days afterwards. Talk about the importance of keeping this, and to you personally, what it meant to keep this living history of a day that people should never forget.
Well, for me personally, I'm just deeply grateful that all of these people who are in the book gave me their time and their trust and told me their stories. That's a tremendous gift.
Yeah.
What I think is important as we move forward is that we remember that we get to choose. No one can change what happened that day, and no one can really afford, when it comes to 9/11, to wear any rose-colored glasses about what happened and what transpired afterwards. But we get to choose how we react to tragedy, or anything for that matter. And what I saw happening over and over and over again, and it's all throughout the book, is that people chose to be of service to each other, not just to themselves. They went out of their way to help perfect strangers. They went out of their way to do things for other people, and that closed the gap that we're seeing today in society, as a matter of fact, between people who have, supposed differences. Suddenly, we were all united in the way that we were confronting a given situation. And that's a choice. That's not something that, requires tragedy, I don't think. It's something that we always have available. We can always look for our similarities rather than our differences. We can always go up to a perfect stranger and offer ourselves to them in some way. It doesn't have to be anything large. You could just smile at them and just ask how their day is going. And when we do that, our society and we as individuals seem to get a lot better. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
think.
what the book is about.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and the idea that 9/12 and what an important day that was as well, and sometimes you forget not only what transpired that day and the stories that you have, and I might ask you about one in particular that maybe pops into your mind and is an example of what you just described, but also the day after, which is the coming together. How quickly we've forgot that moment of the country coming together, taking away polarization and coming together with a common cause and a common grief and a common commonality that you unfortunately had to have a situation like that happen, but certainly one that we can't forget either to communicate to our kids. Those that don't know, it's only in a book like yours, like Tower Stories, an oral history of 9/11, a book that I would encourage you to get to remember those stories. Can you talk about one specifically that comes to mind, maybe that speaks to that, or even one that is in the book that you would like for people to know?
Well, I sure can, and thanks for asking. I had the publishers and I went back and we did a retrospectives section for this particular edition. So I got a chance to interview a lot more people looking back on the 20-year gap. And one of them who really, really stood out was, her name is Jessica Suarez, and her father was Officer Ramon Suarez of the NYPD. And that day at the towers, Ramon Suarez, Officer Suarez, went down and helped out, and he was seen there helping people escape from the towers, and unfortunately he perished. Now, Jillian Suarez, his daughter, was 9 years old at the time, and she really wanted to follow in her father's footsteps, and she grew up just wanting to be just like him. And in 2018, I'm very pleased to announce that she graduated from the New York City Police Academy. She is now Officer Jillian Suarez, and she bears her father's shield. It's shield number 12671. And I think that this is a tremendous testament to courage, character, attitude. Here is a young woman who really wants to be of service in the way that her father was. I think that speaks very highly, not only of her character, the character of the NYPD, the character of New York, but it is a testament to how Americans are, and indeed what is best in human nature, that we're going to overcome these hurdles, and we're going to put ourselves back out there, and we're going to try again, and we're going to see what we can do.
Yeah. Yeah, and you'll find many stories like this in this book. One of the best-selling, most critically acclaimed books on 9/11 ever published, and I can say that just the stories right out of the gate. It doesn't take too long to get to inspiring, incredible stories, and ones that I would say you could look at, as you've described, with hope for the future in this way that we could maybe have that 9/12 moment of coming together once again, because we need. Boy, we need it now more than ever. But what an important book. Damon DeMarco joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Listen, I know you have to run. You're busy, and I appreciate a few minutes. The author of Tower Stories, an oral history of 9/11. And you can go to certainly any of your favorite places where you purchase books. Is there one in particular, or would you maybe even a website you would like them to go to, sir?
I think we still have a website up at towerstories.org, but I'm sure you'll find it everywhere, as you say. And thank you for mentioning it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, all the best, and thank you for a few minutes of your time.
Oh, thank you.
239-479-5592. And again, you know, an important aspect to this is there are many stories, by the way, in the book like this. survivors, the 89th floor, Tower 1, just a few stories below where the plane hit. People who miraculously made it down safely. So many stories. But, two things come to mind again. Number one is never forget to communicate to family members that only know in a book, only know by your sitting with them and your verbal communication, like a relative who can describe being there during World War II, 20 years later, or the Civil War, any of these moments in time where you now get the opportunity to communicate exactly what happened. And even talking about 9/12 and the challenges of not only that day, but even where we are right now and the days after. And we're not going to forget, certainly not today, 239-479-5592, and not ever. Before we move on, I do want to mention this, that now the question becomes, and here we go again, why did this president decide to do this on September 9th, knowing full well that this weekend was upon us? And how it hurts even more to believe that politics would be at play here. That this idea that there's a possibility that all of this took place. To have everyone focus on something else. And not just that, but again, this polarizing of the country done by deeds of a president who would present each of us in a different light as somehow as enemies because of decisions we've made and consulting with doctors and talking to people that we care about and making decisions on our own. And some of the most outrageous, when the president, for example, says...
If the president had done his job from the beginning, all the people would still be alive. All the people, I'm not making this up, just look at the data. Look at the data.
That was back when there was a town hall on CNN talking about President Trump and the suggestion that 210 Americans at the time died from the coronavirus, no vaccine, and it's all Trump's fault if he would have done his job. 250 Americans have died under his watch. And he picks yesterday as the day to make this announcement. Why didn't he do this sooner? Why did he not do this sooner? Some of the other things that he mentioned yesterday, losing patience, getting upset.
My message to unvaccinated Americans is this. What more is there to wait for? What more do you need to see? We've made vaccinations free, safe, and convenient. The vaccine has FDA approval. Over 200 million Americans have gotten at least one shot. We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin.
We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin. Congressman Byron Donalds is live right now with us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Congressman, first of all, good morning. Maybe your thoughts on hearing the president yesterday and whatever's on your mind this morning. I'll tell you, I am beside myself for a lot of different reasons, not the least of which is what to pick today as the day, or yesterday, forgive me, is very frustrating. Your thoughts?
That was probably the most thing I've ever heard a president say. Period. I'm not just talking about the president of the United States. I'm talking about presidents, period, anywhere in the world. I mean, that was an outrageous speech by the president. First of all, he starts off by literally dividing Americans. This is supposed to be the guy, this is supposed to be the great uniter for our country. That's a flat out joke. He starts out by dividing Americans. he's locked into this binary choice between whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated. And Drew, I got to tell you, I find it's interesting because the political left, when it comes to something like gender, claims that they're not binary. They think that there's every kind of choice under the sun when it comes to gender identity. Just look at the Pride Progress flag. But when it comes to this, it's either you're vaccinated or you're not. And that's actually not true. That's not what the data says. That's not what, when you talk to medical professionals, that's not what they're saying. We are in a place here where if this president has this level of authority, what it really does is that it completely opens the door for the president to be a king in our country. Because if you can mandate this, the president can mandate anything and find any obscure rule in any law to justify it. This is a very bad place for the republic. This is way bigger than COVID-19. This is not just about the virus. This is about presidential power. This is about the role of government in the lives of free people. Yeah. And so I know that there are people listening. There are people on the other side of the political aisle who are always willing to give up their liberties and their freedoms for security or the veneer of security. But for those people, they need to understand that just because you like this ruling, you might think this is okay. But when you give a president or any elected official this kind of power, they're going to come up with a ruling in the future that you're not going to like. Yep. And the reason why people like me and you fight these kind of draconian decisions coming out of elected officials, no matter where they might serve, state, local, federal, is because we don't want to give the precedent for this kind of authority to be taken that completely flies in the face of just basic HIPAA violations. Like HIPAA laws protect people from having to disclose their medical history.
Yeah.
But we're saying, no, you can't do that because of COVID-19, because the mortality rate is still about 1.2% in the United States.
Yeah,
that's where we're at right now.
It is. And, you know, another part that's unreal to me as well is when we talk about the Constitution, this piece of paper that is more than a piece of paper. But when you have elected officials who believe it's just a piece of paper and don't have any desire to enforce our rule of law, do not want to look at it in any way, shape, or form and believe that it's something that unifies this country. The minute you look at the Constitution in a different way, like that, the minute you think that it's just a piece of paper and it's meaningless, the republic's done. Like, we're done. There's no place to go after that. I don't know. I mean, how? I can't say it anymore. I mean, it's that real. It's that tangible. Like, that's it. That's the thread that holds us together that is fraying as we speak.
Well, look, first, two things I want to do in my time with you this morning, because I don't want to be completely focused on how tyrannical Joe Biden is, even though he is tyrannical.
Yeah.
First point I want to make to the moderate Republicans who stayed home in 2020. This is what happens when you turn stuff over to a Democrat Party that is a Marxist party. That's where this Democrat Party is. They only view the only way to get stuff done is to take complete control. This is where they are. I was in D.C. yesterday, Drew. I'm back in Southwest Florida. Yeah. I was in D.C. yesterday. We're marking up bills for this $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation. There are no amendments. Nancy Pelosi's not taking advice from Republicans about where to spend money. Nobody's seeing the bills until 2 days before we're voting on them in committees. They're dropping out of the Speaker's office. Kevin McCarthy's not in discussion with her. There's no bipartisanship opportunity to actually be had. All that's gone. It's totalitarianism in the People's House, straight from Nancy's office. The second point I want to make, and this is about what we should be doing in the country. The governor has been standing up Regeneron clinics all over our state. There's 3 basically in Southwest Florida, one in Immokalee, one in Bonita Springs, one in Charlotte County. Regeneron works. What we should be doing is actually doing antibody testing at this point. Not saying we get rid of the baseline COVID-19 testing, but we should be testing people for antibodies. People should be able to test and understand where they are with their particular health. Number 2, when people actually get COVID-19, go get the Regeneron treatments. It works. It actually really, really does. It's quite remarkable.
Yeah.
It works. It's fantastic. And then number 3, we do have a nursing shortage in our hospitals in Southwest Florida and hospitals, frankly, all across the country. But what most people don't know is that the federal government right now is contracting nurses through HHS to be at holding facilities for migrant children on the southern border because Joe Biden has opened up the borders, and so there's so many children pouring across, we had to contract nurses to check on their health status for illegal immigrant children coming across the border. So what we should be doing is sending those nurses into our hospitals, not into holding facilities run by HHS on the southern border, just so Joe Biden can undo one of Trump's things on securing the border. This is what we should be doing in the United States, not what this president's doing.
Yeah. All right, Congressman. Listen, I appreciate you calling in. Thanks for a few minutes, and we'll speak soon. Thanks again. All the best.
All right.
All right. We'll see
you
soon.
Drew.
Okay. Stay break. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
It's all right here at 92.5 Fox News. We've been right all along.
Rock Solid wants you to be our customer at Rock Solid Countertops and More. $9.99 gets it done. For a limited time only, get a full set of kitchen countertops from $9.99 installed. Rock Solid guarantees to beat any competitor's prices, including installation. So come see Hugo and his team in Naples. And now serving Port Charlotte at 4135 Tamiami Trail. Visit rocksolidnaples.com. Rock Solid, where $9.99 gets it done.
Attention. This is a closeout event you cannot miss. Thursday through Sunday, it's the certified closeout at Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral. Shop the largest certified pre-owned vehicle selection in the entire country with closeout pricing thousands less than MSRP. Certified Rogues, Sentras, and Altimas from only $16,988. Plus, you get a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Certified vehicles are just like new from how they look, feel, and drive. You won't be able to tell the difference, but you'll pay thousands less. With the country's biggest selection starting at $16,988. Rogues, Sentras, Altimas, all here. Plus, get a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. This closeout event ends Sunday. Rush to Florida's #1 Nissan dealer, Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral. Your used car megastore online at flnissan.com. If you don't shop Sutherland, you'll pay too much.
See dealer for details.
Hi, this is Earl Ron. I'm the president of New South Window Solutions. What I like people to understand about our company is what's unique about us. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. We go out of our way to make it easy. If you're thinking about buying new windows, consider New South. Don't even think about buying windows from anyone else till you see what our factory can do for you. New South windows are made in Florida, for Florida homes, by Florida workers.
Going on now, save 35% off factory direct windows and doors. Call 1-800-NEW-WINDOWS.
Rockstar Harley needs used bikes. It is giving NADA retail value when trading for a new Harley this week. No matter how much you owe on it, Rockstar Harley will trade anything. Tell them all about it, Pickles.
Obviously bikes, cars, ATVs, RVs, and more.
NADA retail value for your motorcycle. Good credit, bad credit, no credit at Rockstar Harley. All credit applications considered. Rockstar Harley-Davidson is the #1 volume Harley dealer in Florida with rates such as 0.99% APR. Retail trade value ends this Sunday.
This break is sponsored by Cornerstone Builders. Give us the opportunity to wow you.
Wink News, traffic.
Good morning. Major backups along Colonial Boulevard heading eastbound out of Cape Coral across the Midpoint Bridge, approaching Summerlin Road because of a crash right near Rare Cove Boulevard. Watch out for delays there. Maybe avoid that stretch of the bridge by taking the Cape Coral Bridge down to College Parkway to get into Fort Myers instead of the midpoint. We also have a crash on Daniels Parkway getting cleared up right near the 75 overpass. Westbound, that is off to the right-hand shoulder. You'll see some flashing lights, though, for that earlier crash with injuries. Heading through Collier County, we've got a crash near North Naples Middle School, just off Livingston Road at Learning Lane in Camden Lakes Lane. No injuries reported there. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
The news you need, the host you trust, getting it right all day and all night. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Ty Lassiter here, managing partner and CEO of Key City Capital. I think we can all admit that our origin has a lot of importance in what we will become. Many of you didn't originate from Florida, but you have come here, and that choice has altered your path for the rest of your life, especially how much taxes you pay if you came here from the Northeast. So what is Key City Capital's origin? Why did we choose to move to Southwest Florida? Our mission is to connect capital to wealth through passive real estate and alternative investments. Very simply, we generate and distribute double-digit returns for our investors. For over 10 years, we have never missed a monthly interest payment to our partners, and we have never lost a penny of our investors' capital. That is history you can build and rely on.
If you're looking for significant returns from real estate and alternative investments, call us today at 239-330-2080 or check us out online today at kcap925.com. That's kcap925.com.
In business, it's never just another day. Every day is the day. That could bring your biggest order yet, or a new cyber threat. Whatever the day holds, with Comcast Business, you'll be prepared. With a network that can deliver gig speeds to the most businesses. Comcast Business Security Edge to help protect your connected devices, and a dedicated team available 24/7. Every day in business is a big day. We'll keep you ready for what's next. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with a fast and reliable internet and voice solution for $35 each a month for 24 months for 2 years when you buy both. Or ask about our best deal on a gig speed bundle with a $500 prepaid card. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go to ComcastBusiness.com to learn more. Offer requires enrollment in paperless billing and autopay through My Account. Ends 9/19/21. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 35 megabits per second internet and one voice line. Early termination fee applies. Equipment taxes and fees extra and subject to change.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit moranwm.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
No matter what it's like outside, Trane makes it comfortable inside. You can get a great deal now on a new heating and cooling system at Trane. Visit TraneInfo.com. Visit TraneInfo.com to find your local dealer and more, because it's hard to stop a train.
After Drew, it's Glenn Beck 9 till noon. You've come to the right place. 92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
239-479-5592, the talk and text line streaming live, drewsteele.com, the website. Steele has 3 E's. We do appreciate you watching the program and subscribing to the podcast. You can type Drew Steele into your favorite podcast location or go to the website, drewsteele.com, and there is a link so you can subscribe to the podcast and listen to the show at your convenience. Hour 1 is already up and in the books. So as we continue to keep an eye on what is happening with the President of the United States picking the day before, 2 days before September 11th, 20-year anniversary, and a day that we should all be talking about and remembering throughout the weekend, but instead starts talking about unconstitutional mandates and starts talking about all of this forced masking and going after the governor here in the state of Florida and others. And what will happen next, and even your thoughts on all of this as you wake up today and as you heard the president yesterday and you're thinking to yourself, what? It really is about what you've been hearing and what you think. I mean, officially announcing a vaccine mandate from the federal level, hitting all private businesses with over 100 employees, trashing the unvaccinated, threatening the unvaccinated, and again, stoking the flames of division, at a time where we should be talking about a day where, if you think back 20 years and September 12th and the day after and what it was like then and how the country was unified, there was no division. We came together be it for a brief moment, but certainly, wasn't everybody's fault, that brief moment. Yeah, because there's audio about that. That we're going to have coming up. But the questioning about why this moment? I mean, even Teresa is in Cape Coral. She had some questions about the timing of the announcement. I mean, do you? Teresa, what are your thoughts this morning?
Good morning, Drew. I was thinking back to 20 years ago. I was in Long Island. I worked in Manhattan. I happened to be home on 9/11. The day after 9/11, when we all woke up, it was insane, the amount of unity that people had. And I mean, you drive down blocks, and everybody had candles out on their front porch. It didn't matter who you were, where you were, black, white, male, female. Now it's vaccinated, unvaccinated. I think that it's in this administration, it's in their interest to keep us divided.
Yeah.
It's one thing after another, and this is the new thing, vaccinated versus unvaccinated.
Yeah, the dividing, and thanks for the call, I appreciate it. And the dividing that this president is doing, and obviously the concerns that we have. You know, you could even go to, for example, what he said yesterday with regard to the travel and TSA, and now what's going to happen in the control there as well.
Tonight, I'm announcing that the Transportation Safety Administration, the TSA, will double the fines on travelers that refuse to mask. If you break the rules, be prepared to pay. And by the way, show some respect.
Okay. Just a quick question, and many people have asked me, and maybe I'm asking you, doubling the fines, fining people for not following the rules, being prepared to pay. Hey, how's that worked out?
Governor Whitmer drawing criticism for this since-deleted photo showing her sitting with 12 friends at tables that appear to have been pushed together at a bar in East Lansing.
Nancy Pelosi is under fire today after surveillance video shows her at a hair salon getting a blowout and not wearing a face mask.
Footage showed Northam taking selfies with groups of people without anything covering his face.
We have President Biden yesterday, him and his family, they're not wearing masks after mandating and requiring people to wear masks on federal property. He and his family were not wearing masks out.
Please stay home. Stay home. Stay home. Stay at home as much as possible.
Denver's mayor told you to stay home for Thanksgiving. Then he got on a flight to go see family out of state.
Yeah, I could go on and on. There's plenty. How did that work with them? Just asking. The difference between the vaccinated and the unvaccinated, the ones who follow the rules and don't. And I guess do we not only when we check your mandates, your passports, your vaccine passports, do we also check to see your political affiliation? Is that how that works? Tom's in Naples wanted to weigh in on the vaccine and the president and what he said. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, hey, Drew. Good morning. Yeah, I just wanted to say, they're talking about Fauci, and the president wants 100% of the people in the world vaccinated, right? So if that's supposed to eradicate this disease, it's all BS. I don't understand why they're saying that, because the virus is transmittable from human to animal and vice versa. So are we going to collect all the animals in the world and have them vaccinated as well? The bats, the birds, the lizards, whatever? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, there have been questions about that, and we've talked about that, Tom. And thanks for the call. I appreciate it. The point that you're talking about chicken pox or smallpox and how that is human to human. It doesn't go to animals, and there was a way that you could eradicate it through vaccines as opposed to what has happened with this virus in particular. And it's not like that, and we're never going to get to COVID-0. We're never going to get to mandate vaccine 100%. We're not going to be in those places. It's just not going to happen. And that issue, the issue of people have been bringing to my attention, and I'm seeing the text coming in 239-479-5592, and talking about the unvaccinated, and not only the fact that even Nancy Pelosi said, we're not going to mandate vaccines. Come on now.
So here's the thing. We cannot require someone to be vaccinated. That's just not what we can do. It is a matter of privacy to know who is or who isn't.
Yeah, well, I get we can change our mind on that. Apparently. We're going to see, because people are going to challenge this. It's already happening. But there's also the other side that says, listen, I'm a healthy, quite possibly somebody who may have antibodies. I don't know. I should be getting checked, as Congressman Byron Donalds talked about. Shouldn't we be finding out about, the questions that we have regarding people who have already had the vid and, the immunity that they have naturally? The people who may have antibodies don't know. Maybe or asymptomatic, don't realize that they have. We should probably check that. And also, what if I'm a healthy? The questions that people are asking me. I'm healthy. I'm a healthy Southwest Floridian, and we know that somebody who has been vaccinated can transmit the virus and can also get it. So who's to say that you're not going to give it to me? That's what people are saying to me. And then we're not allowed to talk about things like that, especially considering we have monoclonal antibodies, 70 to 85% effective. As Dr. Fauci has described, we have therapies out there that for some reason we're not being front and center in this fight. You know, the president talked about that yesterday, but shouldn't that be a big part of this? And again, people have questions. 239-479-5592. All right. Well, can we do this right now? All right. Well, let's do this. Let's take a break from talking about the president and mandates and that. And let's do something that I wanted to focus on today, but unfortunately the news changes the headlines and changes things, but it doesn't change this. We're still going to talk about the concerns that many of us have, and still going to talk about 9/11, the 20th anniversary of September 11th. And Pastor Skip Heitzig of Calvary Church is joining us right now on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, someone who knows a lot about this and being there on the ground and experiencing all the aftermath of the attacks. It's Drew Steele. How are you, sir?
Drew, great to be with you and your listeners.
Well, I appreciate it. You know, it is easy maybe for some to get pulled away from this day because of the headlines. I refuse. I'm not going to do it. We are going to talk about this for a few minutes and are going to remember. And I might ask you maybe your thoughts on this 20-year anniversary and the aftermath, and maybe describe where you were that day and what was happening there specifically in your location.
Yeah, I'd love to. I feel sickened, especially that what has happened with the pullout in Afghanistan by this administration and how it happened on the 20th anniversary of what we are supposed to remember and commemorate, sort of with a holy kind of a fear, but it has turned into an anger in the hearts and minds of most Americans because of what the pullout in Afghanistan. It was like a slap in the face. But I do remember what happened on that day, like most Americans who were alive. And then I did go back to New York to open the Billy Graham Prayer Center. And I remember flying over Manhattan and looking down from the airplane and seeing that hole where the trade centers once stood, billowing with smoke and fire. It looked like I was flying into a war zone. And it did not look like the New York I had been familiar with. Of course, everybody on the ground was still stunned and in shock, and I was down at ground zero working for 3 weeks, working with first responders, with family members who are identifying lost loved ones, and just seeing the mayhem that was caused by a few people.
And, you know, the day after, as we've kind of described a little bit this morning, to even speak to that directly, the fact that through all of that, how often did politics come up? How often did anything else in the world come up except for this moment, this time, and the coming together, and how that day has to be remembered as well. It's not just the events of 9/11, what took place, and certainly what this administration or others have done with regard to Afghanistan, but then the day after and the coming together of a country, of a nation, who took the time to focus on this one singular thing because it was something that should have been focused on as one singular thing.
Yeah, it was a coming together like never before. I've never seen New Yorkers act the way they acted. I've never seen a response like that. I've never seen a nation come together and sing songs that are patriotic and even focused on God, and churches filled, and a national sense of remorse as we endured this pain together. I mean, I think we woke up and discovered that we found out a fact we didn't know up to that point, Drew, and that is we were hated by a lot of people around the world. who were radical in their ideology, and that ideology had come to this shore.
You know what? Certainly, after we get through this weekend, where I do pray that people will take time to be a messenger of not only the day but the day after, an oral history that you have an opportunity to present to a generation who has absolutely no idea of before or after, and how important that oral history is. Looking at this now, as a pastor and even a congregation of people who come together now, what might be your message as we pass this weekend? We certainly remember this, but then there is Monday.
Right. Well, I'm going to be talking about this on the weekend at all 4 of our services. We have a large congregation. We're going to be honoring firefighters and police officers and all of those first responders who gave their lives for others that day. And we're going to be honoring what they did. And those are our heroes. Yeah. They rushed into those buildings. And so we want to take that time to talk about the ideology. During that time, a lot changed. I mean, the way we live changed permanently. We didn't have a Department of Homeland Security before September 11, 2001. It developed because we saw that we had a national need. And so a lot changed permanently, but then a lot did not permanently change. People were sensitized for a period of time. People were repentant for a period of time. People were patriotic and loved this nation like never before for a period of time. But a lot of that dissipated rather quickly. And we have a tendency to forget these things. And the need to keep what happened on September 11th fresh and alive, because America is always being assaulted in our country and around the world. That's as important that we do that as our parents' generation thought the 7th of December, 1941 should be kept alive in our collective memory as well.
Yeah. And certainly it's funny you mentioned that, because I do that as well. I have a relative who was there at Pearl Harbor that day and actually does talk about it and witness to what transpired on that day. And it's chilling, and still the way she's able to describe it as a young child there that day, and how comes to life that moment. And then, of course, the message afterwards of how everything transpired and what we know through our history books. It sits the same way with this that we have to make sure we focus on as well. I might ask you, where is Calvary Church, the location?
It's in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm a Californian, and I moved to New Mexico, and we planted a church. It's a rather large church of about 15,000 people or so who congregate on weekends. And we were very, very active. I became an FBI chaplain. I worked at Ground Zero for 3 weeks, as I said.
Yeah.
So I was right in the thick of it with people who were identifying the DNA remains of loved ones, and coping through that kind of loss.
Yeah, and it's again one of those things that an oral history of all of this is so important. Especially, again, to a generation that we have to make sure never forgets, and we certainly do not. Well, Pastor, I appreciate a few minutes of your time. Something else you wanted to say before we go? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that was it. Drew, I appreciate what you're doing, and the topics that you address, they're pertinent and germane to the decisions we make today are forming the history we're going to look back on tomorrow. So we have to be very careful about how we react and respond, and how we get engaged in this culture to make a difference and a change for good.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Pastor Skip Heitzig joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. I appreciate a few minutes of your time, sir. God bless.
Thank you.
239-479-5592, the talk and text line, streaming live, drewsteele.com, the website. Steele has 3 E's. And, it is something that, again, forgive me if today, and I described this earlier, and I just have to say it one more time before we go to break. I cannot tell you how we set up for this day something to be special. There's certainly the 92.5 Fox News Field of Flags. Hopefully you've had a chance to visit, putting the time in, and that lot, that piece of property at 333 8th Street South in Naples, downtown, to remember, to memorialize the lives lost with the flags that are there. It's important, putting that together. The plans that we had to prepare for today, knowing what this day means to so many, to me personally, the day before, that this would be the day to communicate. And yesterday, all day and all night, how everything changed in just a blink of an eye. To be able to take your calls and to be able to talk about this, and how, and forgive me, I'll say it anyway, and how a president of the United States would use yesterday as the day to do this. Because it was political, because it was a political decision to take off the headlines the disaster of what has transpired in Afghanistan, the loss of life, 13 brave men and women who lost their lives there in Afghanistan. And to somehow do this, and there are people in this administration who made a calculated decision to not wait past the weekend, to not give us, me and you, an opportunity for 2 seconds to just walk away from the headlines and the politics of the day, just to give us 2 seconds to come together with people that we may disagree with now, but certainly were united with then in our memories. To take that away for political reasons because you didn't want what has transpired in Afghanistan to be exposed in full detail and then some is an outrage. It's an absolute outrage. And again, for me personally, and how he did this and upending what a lot of people plan to do, to step back for 5 seconds, and we can't even have that. It's an outrage. All right, 239-479-5592. I know we ran long. We got to go. We'll get to more of your calls coming up and more of the president and what he said yesterday, and we'll get to that on the way. It's Daybreak 92.5, Fox News, right all along.
Stay right here, because after Drew, it's Glenn Beck, 9 to noon. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Sisters and brothers, this is Trey Radel from 92.5 Fox News. 20 years ago, on 9/11, 2,977 perished. In their honor, in their memory, 92.5 Fox News will place one flag for each of their souls to create a field of flags in downtown Naples. All this week on 92.5 Fox News.
Hello, folks. This is Representative Bob Rommel with this week's interesting Florida fact. America's governor, Ron DeSantis, is at it again, this time with a plan to recruit more police officers. It includes a $5,000 signing bonus for new officers, scholarships for the academy, and free certification exams for police officers that transfer from out of state. As usual, the press is already attacking the governor, but once again, they're wrong. Florida's population is exploding, and we only have about 2.5 law enforcement officers for every 1,000 people. With liberal cities making the insane decision to defund their police, there's no better time for us to recruit our nation's finest from other states. Florida, where the blue has our back and where we will always have their back. Plus, no income tax for anyone, including our police. Let's keep it that way. Paid by Bob Rommel, Republican for State Representative.
This is Marty.
Hey, Marty, it's time to get paid.
Paid for what?
Paid for your trade.
Okay.
Victory Lane Chevrolet is paying over book value for trades, and Florida drivers are cashing in.
They're paying over book value for trades. I get it, okay.
Correctamundo, Marty. Used car values are worth more than ever. It really is the best time to trade.
Why would I pay over book value? Tell me that.
Well, why do you overcharge customers for new Chevys?
I don't overcharge.
Okay. Enjoy your new Silverado, ma'am. Get paid for your trade at Victory Lane Chevrolet and get over book value for your trade. Plus, during Truck Month, receive a $1,000 accessory cash allowance with your new truck. Victory Lane Chevrolet on the corner of Fowler and Winkler. Find new roads. Online, victorylanechevrolet.com.
All rebates to dealer offers do not combine. $1,000 cash accessories for GM parts only. Expires 9/30/21.
Whatever you're doing this weekend, stop your plans and enjoy 60% off on a large collection of diamonds, rings, bracelets, and necklaces.
Hi, Stuart Duncan here. You're invited this weekend to our 60% off sale. Come see us. Savings like no other.
Don't miss the savings at Duncan's Diamonds 60% off event.
Enormous selection. Magnificent diamonds.
This Friday and Saturday only. It's happening at Duncan's Diamonds.
An avalanche of glittering diamonds, engagement rings, wedding bands.
If it's in the showcase, it's a whopping 60% off. Now is the time to save at Duncan's Diamonds.
I want you to find the diamonds and jewelry you will love today and save 60%. And we will not be undersold by anyone, anytime, anywhere, and you can count on it.
Duncan's Diamonds. It's worth the drive for the best prices on diamonds and jewelry.
This weekend only, 60% off event.
On US 41. See store for details.
Calling out political theft by the left. 92.5 WFSX Estero. Fox News. Right all along.
He wants to force people to roll up their sleeves. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
My job as president is to protect all Americans.
So President Biden has new executive orders to get Americans still not vaccinated to get the shots.
We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin. And your refusal has cost all of us.
Amid a COVID surge back to January levels with more than 4,000 deaths reported the past 2 days.
A new Labor Department rule requires companies with 100 or more employees to institute vaccine mandates or weekly COVID testing for workers. An executive order also requires vaccines for all executive branch employees and federal contractors without a testing alternative.
Fox's Jared Halpern. There is a lot of Republican pushback to the president. Fox's Rachel Sutherland on this live.
Dave, several Republican governors are vowing to fight President Biden's vaccine mandate. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem told Fox's Handy her legal team is already at work.
South Dakota, we're going to be free, and we're going to make sure that we don't overstep our authority. So we will take action.
Shortly after the announcement, the Republican National Committee said it will sue the administration to protect Americans and their liberties. Texas Governor Greg Abbott says his state is moving to halt what he calls a power grab. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey says the mandate will never stand up in court. Dave?
Rachel, in Kentucky last night, Republican state lawmakers voted in a special session to get rid of a mandate for masks in schools. The Justice Department is suing Texas, trying to block the state's new law banning most abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy. Attorney General Merrick Garland says its goal
is to prevent women from exercising their constitutional rights.
The law's supporters say it protects the lives of babies. More than 2 months after the condo tower collapsed in Surfside, Florida, killing 98 people, there is fraud. A fourth person now accused of stealing victims' identities to get credit cards and make purchases. America's listening to Fox News.
Wink News traffic.
Good morning. Heading out right now through Colonial Boulevard. Still tracking major backups eastbound because of a crash near Rareco Boulevard right off of Summerlin Road. And those delays come all the way from the Cape on Veterans through Country Club Boulevard, Del Prado, across the Midpoint Bridge, through McGregor and toward that crash scene. So you may want to just avoid Veterans and Colonial eastbound for the time being. Dealing with backups also on Cape Coral Parkway approaching Del Prado Boulevard eastbound, and a crash on Del Prado southbound right near Southeast 47th Terrace close to that intersection. Cape Coral Bridge, though, running up to speed. That trip to the Minute Traffic, I'm Therese O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. We are finally heading into the weekend. And as we head through today, look for a few showers throughout this morning. First, closer to the coast. That focus will be shifting more inland towards the afternoon, with scattered thunderstorms mainly focused along and east of the I-75 corridor. Temperatures today top off near 92 degrees. Things wind down as we head into tonight for your Friday evening and overnight plans. Saturday waking up to low near 76 degrees, and it will be a bit drier as we start the weekend with just some isolated storms in a high of 93. Sunday rain chances ramp back up. Scattered storms return for Sunday afternoon. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Looking for 92.5 Fox News online? Big news. You'll be all set when you go to rightallalong.net.
To honor and remember those who lost their lives in the terror attacks of 9/11, Fred Kobe and the staff at Kobe Cooling
Check this out, Southwest Florida. We're happy to announce you can still get the original MSRP for your trade-in, but only at Naples Nissan. If your trade-in is a 2013 or newer with less than 120,000 miles on it, regardless of brand or where you bought it, Naples Nissan will pay you the full original base MSRP for it so you can drive home in a brand new Nissan. Yes, that means whatever your car was worth when it was new, even if you didn't buy it new, that's exactly what it will be worth right now. But only here at Naples Nissan. We've got hundreds of new and like-new low-mileage pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Now is the time for you to make that upgrade. To get full details on how you can get the full original base MSRP for your trade-in, come see us at Naples Nissan here on Pine Ridge Road or visit naplesnissan.com today. Offers on select models with approved credit and cannot be combined.
Nobody wants a middleman coming between you and what is important to your family, like your home's water. And that's why I love Pentair Water Solutions, the pros. You know my buddy Max, and you should call him now and get your free digital Pentair Water diagnosis. So you live in Southwest Florida, but you can smell the water coming out of the faucet. It's awful, that chlorine smell, the skin in your hair drying out. It's a mess, and your hard water staining your faucets or shower glass. We've all experienced it here in Southwest Florida. The toughest city or well water issues, don't worry about it. And the middleman issue. Listen, with Pentair, there are no middlemen, no dealers, no distributors. They make the system so you have a Pentair water expert in your home, and you can be assured of the right solution for your water at a true Pentair factory direct price. It's a big difference that you will see for yourself. 239-880-7799. That's 239-880-7799. And this month, you can save up to $600 on softeners and salt-free alternatives. So give them a call today or book online at pentair.com/Fort M.
Homeowners, you hear the news every day. Rates go up and rates go down. While the economy struggles to recover, rising inflation rears its ugly head. Stop banging your head against a wall. Mortgage rates are again at all-time lows. That's right, rates are at all-time lows. Put a bit of cash back in your pocket with a refi from True Mortgage. Get a 15-year fixed at just 1.75%, 2.140% APR. Even better, True Mortgage will cover your title, escrow, and appraisal fees. Qualification is fast and simple. Keep more of your hard-earned money and boost your savings. Lock in a lifetime of true value today with the lowest rates ever offered at 800-430-3334. That's 800-430-3334. 800-430-3334. Or visit TrueNow.com. Sign on the line, Inc. DBA True Mortgage is located at 100 Spectrum Center Drive, Suite 520, Irvine, California 92618. Equal housing lender. Terms and conditions apply. Based on a loan amount of $400,000. Monthly principal and interest payments. Primary residence only with a 50% loan to value. Not all applicants will qualify. NMLS number MLD1713.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. At New South, we are determined to build the best Florida window. Energy-efficient windows that stand up to heat and hurricanes. We call it the ultimate Florida window. Factory direct and guaranteed for life. New South has installed tens of thousands of windows across the state and has been named one of the fastest growing window companies in the nation. And that is why we're New South proud.
Going on now. Save 35% off factory direct windows and doors. Visit newsouthwindow.com.
When was the last time you checked in on your insurance? Give CIG a chance to review your current coverage and find you better rates. Hi, this is Brian Chapman at Chapman Insurance Group. My team and I are dedicated to finding you the best suited coverage at the best rates. Give us an opportunity to quote your home, auto, business, or flood policy. I'm confident we can save you money for the same or better coverage. Qualified agents are standing by. Visit CIGFlorida.com or call an office near you today. Naples, Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Port Charlotte, and Punta Gorda. CIGFlorida.com.
From 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steve.
Hey, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592. The talk and text line streaming live. DrewSteele.com, the website. Steele has 3 E's. We do appreciate you watching the program, going to the website, and also subscribing to the podcast. Thank you so much for doing that. You know, on a day where the plan was to remember, and we certainly have, and we certainly will do that, the 20th year remembering 9/11, comes Joe Biden to upend everything, almost as if it was planned. Like, don't focus on Afghanistan and 9/11 and the attacks, and don't do all of that because it may put attention on what has happened in the past couple of weeks. We certainly don't want to do that, but instead picks yesterday as the day to decide that we're going to start talking about, well, I don't know, hating 80 million Americans, this war on 80 million Americans, all the unwashed and the horsey-paced people. Is that what this was?
This is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us. My message to unvaccinated Americans is this. What more is there to wait for? What more do you need to see? This is not about freedom or personal choice. It's about protecting yourself and those around you. And a distinct minority of Americans, supported by a distinct minority of elected officials, are keeping us from turning the corner.
Yeah, you wonder who that is and who he's talking about. And certainly he's talking about the 80 million, the unvaccinated. He's talking about even governors and what some governors around the country are doing with regards to mask mandates in schools.
Many of us are frustrated with the nearly 80 million Americans who are still not vaccinated. For the vast majority of you who've gotten vaccinated, I understand your anger at those who haven't gotten vaccinated.
Boy, it sure sounds polarizing, right? You're angry. You're mad. Boy, are you mad at them. Don't you hate them? Boy, I'll tell you what. You have some right to be looking at those unvaccinated people and be angry and mad, and everything changes your whole life.
Want to do business with the federal government? Vaccinate your workforce.
So you got millions of people that are working for, contracted with the federal government, that they are going to have their livelihoods taken away unless they're vaccinated.
The unvaccinated overcrowd our hospitals, are overrunning emergency rooms and intensive care units, leaving no room for someone with a heart attack or pancreatitis or cancer. Get vaccinated.
And then there's the magical whisper at the end of all of this. After you've continued to hear him talking about how you've got to hate these 80 million people. Man, do you need to hate them?
Get vaccinated.
Here's the whisper, the magic whisper, the one that Jake loves. Every time he hears that, it's like,
cannot stand.
As soon as he hears this,
at all.
Get vaccinated.
That makes everything that you just heard makes 80 million people want to run, not walk, drop everything they're doing right now and run to get vaccinated because Joe Biden said it, and because, man, I don't want people hating me. Was that what you were thinking? That you were going to say these things, and then people are going to go, well, I had no idea. Everybody's mad at me. And now you have the force of the media. How about on a horsey pace? Joy Reid talks about horsey pace. She was the one that brought up horsey pace a couple of days ago. And the governors in GOP states, you better believe it, like the state of Florida, opposing these mandates. Yeah, kind of worried about the constitutionality of all of this. Might want to fight against it. Oh, no, you can't do MSNBC. No.
And so here's the deal as we move into the second year or third year.
Yeah, what's the deal?
Someone's going to lose out. Someone's going to have to stay home. And let it be the people who would rather take horse dewormer than a safe, viable, effective vaccine.
Wait, now hold on a second. That's the only choice. That's it. So the choice is you take the vaccine or horsey pace. There's nothing else out there. There's nothing else that you can do. Again, vaccinate all you want. I don't have a problem with people vaccinating. I don't have a problem with the vaccine. That's not what we are saying here. Never said that. But again, here we go. As this binary choice, as Congressman Byron Donalds has brought this up on numerous occasions, and we've talked about this idea that it's vaccinate or no, don't vaccinate. Like there's nothing else that you could do. Monoclonal antibodies do not exist. We can't talk about that or talk about a vaccine that works like a therapy, The people that have been asking me the question have been saying things to me like, hold on a second, if I'm a healthy male and I'm in a room with somebody who's vaccinated, they could spread it to me. So there's a chance they could give it to me. So what about that portion? Well, no. You're not allowed to say that kind of stuff. That's not epidemiologically speaking. That's not. Well, you got MSNBC who's talking about, and what else? What else did they say? They say
is enough.
That's
reality is reality, and it's time to end the BS. And so I think that he should approach this with an iron fist.
Approach it with an iron fist. Enough is enough. Dr. Lena Wen was on CNN yesterday. Remember, she was the head of Planned Parenthood. You know, Planned Parenthood does like, they just check blood pressure and stuff like that. It's really simple. It's just women's health. They don't do anything like, well, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, she had something to say there on CNN yesterday as well.
What said about interstate travel was exactly right. But in this case, we have childhood immunizations that we don't even think about. All 50 states have laws on the books to require routine childhood immunizations, which we really should be looking at the COVID vaccine the same way. And when it comes to employers, I think what the Biden administration did was quite brilliant because it gives air cover for businesses that have wanted to do this, that have wanted to put vaccine mandates in place, but they didn't want to have their employees complain about them. Now they can say, hey, we didn't really want to do this, but the administration, the federal government is making us do it. It also helps to level the playing field so that people aren't then going to threaten to go to another workplace. If every workplace has that same requirement, that's a good thing. So I don't think it's overreach. I think this is what's needed in the middle of a pandemic. And in fact, I think the Biden administration, if anything, could have gone even further.
Doesn't go far enough. Does that sound totalitarian? Does that sound creepy to anybody? Does that worry you at all? 239-479-5592. A lot of people calling. I want to hear from you this morning on this. And let me just say quickly, again, as I've mentioned before, man, I did not plan on talking about this today. My plan today was, and this station's plan today was, on the heels of tomorrow being the 20th year of 9/11, to remember, to not forget, to talk about, to be able to talk about that day. And today, for me, here on the air was going to be the day to do it. 92.5 Fox News Field of Flags doing that as well in Naples. I would encourage you to go see this. We had big plans and things to organize here and guests and all kinds of things that we were going to do today special so that we would not forget. And Joe Biden comes along yesterday and says, yeah, you're not going to get to do that because I don't want Afghanistan in the headlines. I don't want 9/11 in the headlines. I want something else in the headlines. Thank you, Joe Biden and Ron Klain and Dr. Fauci for putting that all together and presenting us with this today. How awful is that? So I could play more audio of, I could play the lies about the mandatory vaccinations and how, no, we're not going to do anything like that.
No, I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand to be mandatory.
There will be no nationwide mandate. I was referring to mandates by private institutions and portions of the federal government.
CDC.
There will be no federal mandate.
One that's not the role of the federal government.
I don't think you'll ever see a mandating of vaccines.
Yeah, okay. Liars. But no, we're supposed to trust you on everything. We're supposed to trust the media. We're supposed to trust this administration. Absolutely full-on trust. No questions asked because we've earned it. When? All right, let's go to the calls. 239-479-5592. All right, let's see. Let's go to Todd. Todd's in Bonita. Hey, Todd.
Good morning, Drew. Just a couple things. I'd like to say I never thought this would happen, but I didn't. I can't say that, and I'm surprised it happened this soon, but maybe I'm not surprised. But this is kind of like a Stephen King story, and it seems like it keeps getting worse, and we might be able to call this Biden's 9/11, but I mean, what's next? Microchips in our bodies to track us. Internment camps like Australia.
No. Oh, come on, Todd. It would never go that far. No, from an administration and from Democrats who all claim that this is something that they can't do. Mandates? We can't do mandates. Come on now. Thanks for the call, Todd. I appreciate it. No. Nancy Pelosi, come on now. Mandates on vaccines.
So here's the thing. We cannot require someone to be vaccinated. That's just not what we can do.
That's just not what we can do. It's a good thing she's got that mask on when she's speaking. It keeps her teeth in place. George is in L.A.
Hey, Drew, listen. He's a dictator. He's sounding like a dictator, number one. Number two, he failed to mention Fauci, lying Fauci. What did he know and what was the...
Taking it off the headlines, George. Taking it off the headlines.
Absolutely. It's scary. It's scary. He's sounding more like Fidel Castro.
Well, George, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Mark's in LaBelle. Hey, Mark.
Drew, how we doing?
It's a rough day today in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. And everybody's keeping a really good eye on the one hand, but not a lot of people are watching what the other hand's doing. Don't forget that Barack Obama's running this government, and that Barack Obama has an enormous amount of contempt for the United States of America and will do anything and everything he can to humiliate and degrade this country. In other words, knock it down to its knees where he feels it belongs for past transgressions. So everything they're doing is designed, and everything they're doing is going according to plan. It is to keep everybody's attention away from what else is going on. And I believe it's an out-and-out attempt to steal the next election.
Well, we will see. We'll see. Chuck's in Punta Gorda. Hey, Chuck.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm frustrated. I'm sad. I'm a lot of different emotions today.
Well, this is like the perfect example of the pernicious nature of tolerance. And I want to give, I'm 66 years old. I go back to the way things were. I'm thinking back in 62, 61, in the country then, if someone was to meddle in your business, you'd tell them to shut up and sit down or get away from you. And then if they didn't do that, you punched them in the nose and they didn't never do it again. And it was so simple.
Well, okay. Well, Chuck, we don't want to do that, Chuck. We don't want to have. We don't want to resort to fisticuffs and saying, "Get out of my face, or I'm going to pop you in." Yeah, but I understand.
We got to be tolerant. We got to put up with it.
But I understand what you're. Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say, and certainly, it was. And look, you can go back and thanks for the call, Chuck. I appreciate it. It's something that I had a conversation yesterday about this as well. It really is unusual times we live in right now, in a lot of ways for us. Now, throughout history, is it? But certainly the people that have lived through a lot are seeing something that they never thought that they would see in their lifetime. A couple of things come to mind. The first thing on that is how you would have a former president that we were told was a dictator or totalitarian, mean tweets and everything else. And now you look and you see, oh, wait a minute. No. Oh, this is what a dictator and totalitarianism looks like. Oh, I get it now. I didn't know that before. That's the first thing. The second thing is how there was a time not too long ago where you really honestly felt like, oh, shucks, we lost an election. We'll wait for the next one to go get them. And really never thought more than the next election and, you know, the hopefulness that many people had of keeping certain things in check, you know, the enumeration of powers, not the dictatorial, the dictates of one individual who maybe doesn't understand the enumeration of powers and maybe doesn't believe in it. And that takes us to the other thing, which is this. I can't stress this enough. Man, if you have people who don't believe in the Constitution, put their hands on a Bible that they don't necessarily believe in, it's just another book, and they swear to uphold the Constitution, and they don't do it, we don't have a republic. We have nothing. The minute people start to walk away from that Constitution as if it's meaningless, we are meaningless. It's the only thing that keeps us together. I mean, it's that serious. Ronald Reagan.
I am not that.
I think you all know that I've always felt the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Was he wrong? Don't think that they're here to help right now. I don't think this is helpful. Ron DeSantis had something to say about it. We'll play some audio coming up in just a bit on all of this yesterday. And I just want to know how you feel today. And again, going back to something I talked about earlier, which is not being able to talk about 9/11 now for me today in this moment. Doesn't mean I'm not going to and we're not going to have conversations throughout the weekend, but to not be able to do this because a politically minded president and White House and staff picked yesterday as the day to do this so as to be able to take all of that off the headlines for reasons that we all see and know is tragic. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
When listening to the radio in your car, remember to always drive on the right side of the road. Keep it here on 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Ty Laster, Managing Partner and CEO of Key City Capital. So why are we here in Southwest Florida? Well, at KCAP, our mission is to connect capital to wealth for all of our partners through passive real estate investments. And very simply, we generate and distribute double-digit returns for our investors by investing in single-family homes and apartments and unique alternative cash-flowing asset-backed investments.
Call us today at 239-330-2080 or check us out online today at kcap925.com.
They were fathers and mothers, sons and daughters, sisters and brothers. This is Trey Radel from 92.5 Fox News. 20 years ago, on 9/11, 2,977 perished. In their honor, in their memory, 92.5 Fox News will place one flag for each of their souls to create a field of flags in downtown Naples. All this week on 92.5 Fox News.
Dial star 2020. Friends, I care.
Trey Radel, your host of The Drive here. It was only a couple years ago I had my LASIK procedure done with Dr. France and his team. It's life-changing. From the simple little things like waking up in the morning, being able to see the alarm clock, to being able to go outside, toss ball with my son in the heat of the summer and not worry about glasses, contacts, sweat getting into them. But listen to this, though. The technology has radically improved even since I had my procedure done. Maybe you're a candidate for what's called SMILE. It's a procedure that has a smaller incision, no flap, and a lower incidence of dry eye syndrome. It's fantastic. All sorts of options that you can do now with Dr. France and his team to meet the needs of your eyes specifically. It is not one size fits all. So don't compromise when it comes to your eyes. So go to Dr. France and his team today. Just dial ** 2020 from your mobile phone and go see him.
Friends, I care.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there?
Tune in to Retire with Grace with Bob Grace, Saturday mornings at 8 and Sundays at noon to get the answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Don't miss Retire with Grace, a Tri-Found company, Saturday mornings at 8 and Sundays at noon. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Your home is the one place where everything should be perfect, including your air. AC by Florida Comfort Systems helps you achieve the perfect air you deserve with reliable, groundbreaking, award-winning Lennox products. Call AC by Florida Comfort Systems to hear more about how we can help you feel healthier and happier in your home. It doesn't get any more perfect than that. Call us today or visit us online at acbyfcs.com. License number CAC 057065.
Hello, I'm Dave Harmer, owner of First Class Air Conditioning. Since 1977, we've been pretty selective when it comes to hiring new people. We take special pride in the craftsmen we train and employ. If you're an experienced HVAC professional, consider joining us. With a 40-year track record, we're here for the long haul. Call today, 574-2500, and ask for Mr. Harmer. That's 574-2500.
First Class Air Conditioning. Our name says it all.
Hello, I'm Brian Resney, president of Resney Wealth Management and host of the Resney Wealth Report and TV show on the weekends. Investors come to my TV and radio shows to learn and to get educated so they can make better decisions about their retirement and their portfolio. What's your risk management strategy? Are you willing to subject your portfolio to another massive decline in a set it and forget it strategy, or are you looking for a difference? Listen to my show Sunday mornings, 10 to noon on 92.5 Fox News Radio.
What makes Genesis of Naples the #1 selling Genesis dealer in the nation? It's our incredible selection and professional sales staff. Hi, I'm Sheila Zellers, owner of Genesis of Naples. When I drive my beautiful new 2021 Genesis GV80 around town, the first thing everyone says to me is, "What is that beautiful SUV?" I tell them it's the all-new first ever SUV from Genesis. Then they usually ask, "How much does it cost?" I know it's hard to believe, but it starts at just $49,500 and the fully equipped Prestige for just over $70,000. It has an amazing interior and breathtaking design and your choice of turbo engines in rear and all-wheel drive, but that's not all. We have a huge selection of the all-new 2021 Genesis G80s and G90s. Come visit Genesis of Naples on Airport Road or genesisofnaples.com. I love my GV80 and you'll love it too.
All offers with approved credit on select models based on January 2021 retail sales. 72 months at $0 per month for 1,000 finance. No down payment required.
Matt and Justin here with Island Air with some great news for all of Southwest Florida. When the time comes to replace your old, outdated air conditioning system, you don't have to pull from any of your fund money to do so.
Over the past year and a half, we know that many people have sacrificed their vacations.
Now, for a limited time, we are including a vacation voucher with the purchase of your new home air conditioning system. Redeemable for cruises and luxury condos in many countries around the world.
It's your choice with a qualified purchase of a cruise or condo resort voucher. You can choose 4,500 different resort options, 106 countries around the world.
Please take the opportunity to let Island Air take you to the islands or many other places around the world.
A vacation can be yours with the purchase of a new air conditioning system. Call us today to find out more details on how to claim your voucher. Just give us a call, 239-466-8668.
Call 466-8668 for more details.
License number CAC 057544.
Did you know people drive from all over Florida to save money on diamonds?
Hi, I'm Stuart Duncan from Duncan's Diamonds, and we have thousands of diamonds, all shapes, all sizes, half carat to 10 carats. Because we are direct diamond importers, we own one of the largest selections of amazing diamonds here in the United States.
And offer prices 30 to 50% lower than other jewelers, where overhead cost is very high. Duncan's Diamonds hand-picks diamonds from diamond cutters all over the world to ensure you get the best.
We want you to find that diamond that you really love today and save.
And at Duncan's Diamonds, we have spectacular financing and layaway plans, including no or low interest.
A $2,000 engagement ring is only $66 a month. A $3,000 pair of diamond stud earrings is just $84 a month. Best prices guaranteed, low monthly payments, a spectacular gift from Duncan's Diamonds. We want you to find the diamond you love today and save.
Naples at Mercado, Gulf Coast Town Center, and Fort Myers on US 41.
This update is presented by Stevie Tomato's Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
Wink News, traffic.
Good morning. Heading out right now through Colonial Boulevard. Still tracking major backups eastbound because of a crash near Rareco Boulevard right off of Summerlin Road. And those delays come all the way from the Cape on Veterans, through Country Club Boulevard, Del Prado, across the Midpoint Bridge, through McGregor and toward that crash scene. So you may want to just avoid Veterans and Colonial eastbound for the time being. Dealing with backups also on Cape Coral Parkway approaching Del Prado Boulevard eastbound, and a crash on Del Prado southbound right near Southeast 47th Terrace, close to that intersection. Cape Coral Bridge, though, running up to speed. That trip to the Minute Traffic, I'm Teresa O'Shea. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
Happy Friday, Southwest Florida. We are finally heading into the weekend. And as we head through today, look for a few showers throughout this morning. First, closer to the coast. That focus will be shifting more inland towards the afternoon, with scattered thunderstorms mainly focused along and east of the I-75 corridor. Temperatures today top off near 92 degrees. Things wind down as we head into your tonight for your Friday evening and overnight plans. Saturday waking up to low near 76 degrees, and it will be a bit drier as we start the weekend with just some isolated storms in a high of 93. Sunday rain chances ramp back up. Scattered storms return for Sunday afternoon. I'm Wink News Weather Authority meteorologist Casey Sherman.
Whether you're commuting to the office or driving to the beach, always stay to the right with 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Big Al from Stevie Tomatoes. You've heard me say we're the working and retired person's country club. This means coming in for a meal, a drink, or with a party, and we will obtain your complete satisfaction with our food, service, and value. We strive for excellence with your service experience and our food. So on the rare occasion we fall short, tell us and we'll fix it. Plus, at Stevie Tomatoes, there are no pretenses, no attitudes, high prices, or rushing you in or out. Come relax, enjoy yourself, and be yourself. At Stevie's, we love meeting the men and women who currently and in the past work hard to make America great. We appreciate their values, honesty, industriousness, and affection for this great country. So head to Stevie's, where we strive for excellence in everything we do. I guarantee it. In Naples, Fort Myers, and Cape Coral. Come, come, come.
Stevie Tomatoes, Sports Page. Come for the food. Stay for the sports.
Why would someone take a chance on purchasing a frameless shower door from a big box store or an online discounter of an obscure brand, and then try and find a licensed, qualified installer to put it in, when you can deal directly with a local, family-owned business that consults, measures, manufactures, and installs their own award-winning brand of shower doors? My Shower Door is a family-owned and operated business and has the highest ratings on Angie's List and Home Advisor. Want to see more? Go to myshowerdor.com.
When Truly Nolan is on the chase, what do you know? You know they're faster than a speeding cockroach, able to leap into spaces where only spiders hide. You know they're smarter than conniving ants and more nimble than a swarm of mosquitoes. You know whatever they're after, they'll get the job done right. Because when Truly Nolan is in hot pursuit, you know there's no escape. Schedule your free estimate today and get $50 off pest control by going to TrulyNolan.com or call us at 800-GO-TRULY.
Searching everywhere for great prices on appliances? No, you're not, because you have better things to do. Besides, Good Deals has it for less, and they have plenty of items in stock despite shortages everywhere else. Remember, Good Deals guarantees the lowest price on everything they sell. Find a lower price anywhere, and Jay will beat it, guaranteed. Visit one of the showrooms in Fort Myers, Naples, and Cape Coral, or shop online at GoodDealsAppliances.com.
Good Deals Appliances. Have we got a deal for you?
Florida's climate allows us to spend a lot of time out of doors. But if you're working in the yard, be sure to stay safe. When trimming trees or vegetation, always carefully look first for power lines. You can be seriously injured or killed if you or anything you are touching comes in contact with a power line. Remember, always stay at least 10 feet away from neighborhood power lines and 30 feet away from larger power lines. A safety first reminder from Florida Power and Light and this station.
True relief for back and neck pain. Did you play golf or tennis today and wish that you didn't have to deal with the back or neck pain? Do you feel hesitant to swing all the way through or run across the court because of pain? People just assume they have to live with it or just get epidurals. They are wrong. People look at it from the wrong perspective. Most people only think about treating the symptoms and not the cause. At Johnson Spinal Care 596 Back, we treat the cause using non-surgical spinal decompression. Now available for anyone, not just the injured or professional athletes. Spinal decompression is a safe, non-surgical treatment that takes pressure off the nerves and discs, increasing blood circulation, allowing the back to heal. Safe, long-lasting results for sciatica, stenosis, scoliosis, herniated discs, or even failed back surgery. Don't suffer. Call my Medicare-friendly office today for a free telephone consultation. Johnson Spinal Care, 596 Back, 596 BACK. That's 596 2225.
The unstoppable spirit lives inside all of us. As a financial coach at Operation Hope, Trudy Morrison empowers people to overcome economic challenges and bring their dreams to life. Her mission is to inspire the unstoppable spirit in everyone, and our mission at First Horizon is to invest in Trudy and organizations like hers to create a better future for all. Visit firsthorizon.com/unstoppable to learn how unstoppable starts here.
Have lunch with Clay and Buck at noon, right after Glenn Beck at 9. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592, the talk and text line. We stream live, drewsteele.com, the website. Steele has 3 E's. You can watch there and subscribe to the podcast as well. We do appreciate you doing that. Now, before we have him come on, do you want to explain to Mike Opelka what you just told me? Yes, you have to say it on the air. All right. So Jake the Millennial just said something to me about Mike Opelka, who's going to join us right now. Actually, just bring Mike in and then...
Yeah, he's here.
Okay, so he's there. All right, so Mike, are you here?
Yes, present.
Okay, good. All right, so Jake, I want you to tell Mike what you just said off the air about him.
I was just saying, like he strikes me as one who,
Because you've never seen him before.
No, well, I've seen what he looks like.
Okay, go ahead.
So I know what he looks like.
Right.
But if I was to approach his door and knock on his door and he was to answer, I picture him being in like a robe with like one of those pipes, the tobacco pipes, with like house shoes on, and just completely unbothered.
He thinks you're Hugh Hefner.
Something like that.
Well, he's dead.
Well,
But,
no. Well, I know that. Well, he doesn't think that you're dead. I'm just saying that I guess
Okay.
you're the. Yeah. So that's. I thought that was an odd analogy of
Fancy, proper.
Oh, he thinks you're fancy. I know.
Drew and I have shared hotel rooms.
He's not
Drew can-
fancy.
Not fancy.
No.
Although I am persnickety, I guess you could say, because whenever we travel,
Yep.
I travel with what I like because I like to be comfy. So I
True.
don't have a smoking jacket or a pipe or a cigar. No, I don't have that. I'm fairly casual. I like to be formal in my brain, but not so much in my lifestyle. I like comfort and I like what I like
Do we
because
need-
I'm old and cranky.
Do we need some music behind this? I feel like I'm back in the 70s, and it's.
While he's traveling the train to London with Jennifer Lawrence and having a hot tub romp with
right,
Cheryl Teagues, it's Lifestyles of the Opelka and Famous.
romp with. Did you say Cheryl Teagues?
I think I did. That's back at, well, you said it was the 70s.
Well, no. Okay. You didn't even say Farrah Fawcett. You said Cheryl Teagues.
That just tells you my preference.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Can I tell you, let me just say this. That's why I love you. That's why you are my brother, because on a day like today, I get to laugh a little bit because I haven't had much to smile about this morning, and I needed that for just a moment. So,
Well, can I give you something to smile about? Have
please.
you talked about Boomer Esiason?
no.
You know who Boomer is?
Yeah, he's a former quarterback for, someone.
The
I forget.
Bengals.
The Bengals,
The
okay.
Cincinnati Bengals, whose cheerleaders were called the Bengals back in the day. It's
Ah.
kind of a funny thing. But I never knew much about Boomer other than he was a great broadcaster, a great quarterback, great broadcaster. I did not know. I knew about his charity.
Mhm.
He did great work for cystic fibrosis. But did you know that he's like a real solid member of our team?
I did not.
You-
Wait,
I
hold
didn't-
on. Tell me more.
Okay, so last night I'm not watching football, NFL football, because it's woke,
Right.
right?
Correct.
They got the end zone messages again. They got the message on the back of the helmet. Shut up, just play the game. But a buddy of mine calls me last night as I'm about to crash and says, I know you're not listening to Westwood One's broadcast of the NFL season opener. I said, of course I'm not. And he said, but Boomer Esiason just dropped a hammer. And I said, what do you mean? He said he called into the halftime radio show and they asked him about September 11th because he's born on Long Island,
Right.
and he's a New Yorker at heart.
Yep.
And Boomer Esiason proceeded to talk about he lost 200 friends on September 11th because his offices of his charity were across the hall from Cantor Fitzgerald,
Ooh.
the giant trading firm, and he stayed in touch with these people. But then it's kind of an extended clip. Can we walk through this?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. This was how he followed that up.
I'm mad that we lost 13 service men and women over in Afghanistan in the shadow of this anniversary to a suicide bomber from ISIS, of all things. And the optics of all of that make me mad because I don't think that we're any safer. And we've put so many lives on the line, and so many families have been disrupted due to this 20-year war. And really, what have we gotten out of it? And I'm not really sure I have an answer to that. I'm not sure that I'm smart enough to come up with an answer to that. But all I know is, as somebody that is personally affected, that Saturday will have deep, deep meaning for me. I've already been down to the memorial site this week to pay homage to my friends. And I've spoken to many family members already this week, knowing that.
Now that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
All that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Here comes the bases loaded, bottom of the ninth, grand slam walk-off home run.
Saturday is going to be an extremely difficult day. And the way that we left Afghanistan made it even more difficult for a lot of these families, and especially the Gold Star families all across our wonderful country. So I've never forgotten what happened 20 years ago. I will never forget it. My kids will never forget it. We have a clear picture of why it happened and who was the perpetrator of it. And then over the last 20 years, for have it to end the way it did about 2 weeks ago, I think is not only an embarrassment, but is certainly a indication of the people that are leading this country right now have no clue to what they're doing.
Unbelievable, right?
Wow.
Yeah, and guess who's going to be the target of the left today? It already started.
Oh, it's already started, huh?
Yeah, they want him canceled off CBS because he broadcasts, I guess, for CBS. Again, I'm not watching it, but I just thought, support Boomer Esiason today, no matter where you are in the football. This guy, a stand-up guy, gave a whole bunch of his time and money to charity for cystic fibrosis, an amazing broadcaster. He was a great quarterback, too. But for him to get it, he stood up and put it all out there. And I posted that clip, maybe a little bit longer one, on the Twitters.
Yeah.
So you can share it with people. But it's one of those things that, look, we're in the face of a horrific mess in Afghanistan. You've got the mess on the border. We've got now this idiotic mandate, and we have the anniversary of a terror attack on the nation. And I still haven't healed from 20 years ago. I know it. It still breaks me down. I won't be watching any of the tributes tomorrow. I can't.
Yeah. Do you? You don't have to, but do you want to explain to the audience about that day and? You?
Yeah, I was broadcasting. I've been on morning radio forever and ever and ever, it seems, and doing mornings in New York City on the banks of the Hudson River from a building that was 1.1 miles away from the World Trade Center. And we watched it. We had a front row seat, and I was taking pictures from the 17th floor window of our radio studio. And not until I got home did I know that I had taken a shot of the second plane banking in to hit the tower. And we were there 36 hours. We couldn't get in the city. New York City was shut down, locked down. Subways were off. Buses were off. Tunnels were closed. And nobody knew what was going on. I couldn't even call home because the telephone service into New York City was basically garbled, mangled, and whatever. Yeah. And we stayed on the air ultimately 36 hours. They kicked us out of the building we were in for 2 hours because our building housed the back office accounting for Wall Street. And they thought since it was a World Trade Center attack, this was also a Wall Street attack, and they might be coming for our building. So we were out on the streets with hundreds of our brothers and sisters on the banks of the Hudson River when the first tower came down. And water makes sound bounce. And I'll never forget the sound of the steel groaning and the people screaming as the tower came down within itself. It was just one of the more horrific experiences.
Yeah, I know we've personally, privately had this conversation before, and it's, it's one thing to see it on TV. It's one thing to be far away from it. It's even one thing, like for me and my experience of calling my dad, who was driving in from New Jersey into Lower Manhattan and being stuck on the overpass. I believe it was Route 9, making its way in to the tunnel. And being
I know exactly where he was on
Yeah.
the 1 and 9 split heading into the Holland,
Yep.
and
And
he got stuck there.
You're as high. You think that that highway is so elevated. It's like it's crazy to think how high it is, and how he was stuck right there. And I just happened to have a landline in the house because I always thought that to have the landline here during hurricane season, it felt to me like every time everybody else had issues with storms and their cell phone wasn't working, I always had the landline. So everybody came to me and said, "Hey, can I use your phone?" And so I happened to make the call that day from the landline, and about 2 times it took, and I got through to him. And to hear his voice, because it was that moment, it was in the moment. And to hear his voice and the way he sounded and helpless and watching and being stuck, there's no place to go. I don't think I'll ever forget that. And yeah,
That's the word that you just used, helpless. Was I was talking to a buddy of mine in Texas, and he goes, "What were you feeling? What's the one thing that never goes away?" And I said, "It's the feeling standing on the banks of the Hudson River, not being able to call my wife, not being able to get into the city, the palpable feeling of helplessness that you couldn't do anything never goes away. So you always try and be ready for anything."
Yeah. And that changed my whole world. I mean, it changed, even in radio, it changed my whole world from music, radio, and top 40, and seemingly like just doing whatever, to I am never going to be this out of touch for a half a second ever again on what's going on anywhere with anything. Like it galvanized the feeling that I needed to know what was happening, not only here in the country, but politically and outside of the country, everything. And I couldn't absorb more than I was bringing in at that moment, of everything that I could get my hands on to figure out all of it top to bottom. And, and as we head into, and I'm going to bring this up again, and, I've said this a couple of times today, and maybe to a nauseating point, but I'll say it again. I'm really disgusted that Joe Biden had every opportunity to do what he did yesterday and to talk about it Monday. Could have talked about it the following week. Could have picked any other day.
Why yesterday?
Why
Why
yesterday?
did it have to be yesterday? Dana Perino was saying that yesterday too, so you're in good company. Why yesterday? Why in the hell did we have to take away, and I'll tell you exactly why, Afghanistan?
Yep.
13 dead bodies, 13 new graves in Arlington, 13 new Gold Star families.
Yeah. And so that was just maddening to hear that. And certainly now everybody's scrambling, trying to figure out. I mean, you're obviously have your ear to the ground, so to speak. And even with all of this, you're hearing the same things I'm hearing. You got a lot of people pushing back against these mandates. Governors are not going to stand and take it. Lawsuits are going to be flying. I just wonder how all of this plays out. How do you see all of this playing out now with with what the president mentioned yesterday?
Well, 2 things. Joe Biden came into office, and I'm old enough to remember his inaugural address where he promised to unite the country.
Yeah.
And he wanted to be a uniter. Well, he's united the Republicans
Well, yeah.
That's a good thing. He's got all the Republicans united, and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer helped. But this latest bit of tomfoolery is really going to unite the states who are saying, "Come on, man, get a life." Yeah, it's exactly where my mind went. I said, this is nothing other than political theater, and this guy and his party are trying to alter the conversation, and for nothing else. And all of this is so illegal that I don't know if you read. Last night all the buzz was 660,000 postal workers are going to get a pass because their union endorsed him. Then this morning, the Washington Post goes, "Hold on a second, they're not getting a pass," which tells me they got some pushback on that,
Right.
and that postal workers are likely going to have to get a mandate or a test. So the unions they're driving this administration, from the teachers unions to SEIU to the postal workers unions, and it's starting to crack a little bit.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see. But anyway, all right. I'm going to run. I'm glad that we had the opportunity to talk about this because, all the best laid plans. Here I was walking into, or thinking I was going to walk into today. The plans that we had, the things that we were talking about possibly doing today, how much it meant to us, and to what degree we were willing to go and do something special today, and guests and the like, and all of that changes just like that because the president decides that he wants Afghanistan off the headlines, which is unbelievable. But I'm glad we had a chance to talk about this. Michael Pelka, you're a good man, and I will.
I have
I'll speak to you soon.
two little bits to leave you with.
Please.
First is from Joe. Get vaccinated. Not creepy, right? And whenever life gets me down, I turn to the Stooges, and the advice from the Three Stooges when they were trying to get into the movie business in one of their episodes. And Curly put it all into perspective.
This picture business is tougher to get into than I figured. Don't worry. A bad beginning is a good ending. Certainly. If at first you don't succeed, keep on sucking till you do succeed.
There it is. If you don't succeed, keep on sucking till you do succeed.
There you go. All right. That's how we leave it. All right, Michael Pelka. I appreciate you, my friend.
God bless you, my brother.
God bless
I
you.
love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yep. Okay. I'll see you later. By the way, before we finish up, let me remind everybody, 92.5 Fox News and the Field of Flags, 833 8th Street South, downtown Naples. Please visit it today if you get an opportunity. And tomorrow morning, certainly, we have the just about 3,000 flags that are in the ground right now on display on this strip of land that is downtown Naples that you can see. Where you can see these flags to memorialize the lives that were lost on 9/11. You can see this yourself personally. Text the word flags to 239-479-5592 if you'd like the address to go visit. Please do that today or tomorrow morning. I would encourage you to do that. Again, the 92.5 Fox News Field of Flags. Go visit the location now. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.